So this video came across my path. Well, this one's even better than you think, okay? So this video is from Anthony Padilla? I don't know, whatever.
Padilla.
He's a YouTube guy. So he went around and he interviewed a bunch of different people with this totally real disease. Dissociative identity disorder, also known as multiple personality disorder. By the way, AG clipped our last thing when we talked about what's her face, Jeff. What was her name? Jeff?
My name is Jeff.
Yeah, whatever her name was. And there's already Kyle. There's already people that are doing the same thing every time we talk about it. It's pay attention. It's actually real.
Oh, okay.
What are you talking about?
Listen, I know you love that girl and everything, and that's fine, but it's not real.
She's a liar.
Yeah.
So
Don't worry. I've loved liars before, too. There have been plenty of times in my life I went, hey, bro, she's got a real issue, all right, man?
I've met some of them.
And then you get older and you go, no, she's full of shit. Stop it.
So this is him interviewing a few people that have this disease. Mm-hmm. Let's check it out.
Dissociative identity disorder, once called multiple personality disorder, is a disorder in which a person alternates between one or more alternate personalities that function with separate memory and awareness and adapt with amnesia between them.
In a way of removing all consequences and responsibility from your life.
Correct.
Detailed account of DID can be traced back to 1791, when a German woman began speaking perfect French and behaving like a French aristocrat, despite never having learned French or even...
That's impossible. That is a 1791 folktale. You cannot speak a language you haven't learned. Your brain doesn't work that way. Your brain, how can... You're describing magic. You're describing magic. How can you speak a language you've never learned?
You would still have to have the origin, like, materials in your brain to be able to use those materials.
Of course.
You can't just go like, oh, yeah, I just know French now.
Even having been to France. Although appearing extremely rare to the general public.
Can I ask you a question? What if, and I know I'm speaking crazy talk, but what if she was just a woman who taught herself French and was highly unsatisfied with her life and then just decided that she could convince people that she's somebody else? What if this white woman from 1700s
Germany
was just being a typical white woman? If I'm just looking at Occam's razor, right, it makes more sense to me that some dopey bitch was just unhappy and decided to make up a fantastic tale. And then, of course, back then, you could pull off a scam like that and people would go, oh, my God, this is the craziest shit ever. But like Roy said, if you believe that she just knew French suddenly, you're actually believing in magic. That's the best way to describe it. You're believing. It's magic.
Having been to France. Although appearing extremely rare to the general public, it's estimated
100% of people with disease are YouTubers. For what? It's weird. It's weird,
Very
right?
odd.
How many of them are
Very odd.
YouTubers?
that between 1 to 3% of the global population may have this disorder. My name's Anthony Padilla, and today I'm going to be sitting down.
Oh my God, I hate him. I first of all, I hate
this guy.
I hate clean Rob Gavigan. I hate his guts.
He needs more bracelets.
Looks like if you hose down Rob Gavigan.
Yeah. Hose him up, give him a nice cleaning.
It looks like Rob Gavigan and Ryan Long got in a teleporter and came out.
Oh, you're right.
One of those Star Trek episodes.
It's Rob Long. It's Ryan Gavigan.
Yeah, it's the Rob Long, the Ryan Long, Rob Gavigan Tuvix episode.
I love it. Oh, it's great. Yeah.
And they're like, bro, dude, I can't figure it out if I'm a gay guy or a gay guy.
Yeah, but unlike Tuvix, I don't care if he dies.
Hey, you know what? No, I don't know. Listen, man, I can't figure out if I'm a gay guy with substance abuse issues or a different gay guy with substance abuse issues.
People are saying,
I can't figure it out.
People are saying he's half of Smoosh. I don't know what Smoosh is. You could keep repeating Smoosh to me. It doesn't mean I'm going to know what it is.
No, they know.
What is Smoosh?
I have no idea.
Is it some YouTube thing that I'm aware of?
No idea. He is the guy from Smosh. They keep saying, I don't
Smosh?
know.
Smoosh?
I don't know what
Smosh?
that is.
I don't know. I don't know what that is, man. Sorry.
You kids and your Smosh and your fucking Capri Suns. Sick of it. Get real tired of you.
And you fucking Heelys.
Really tired of this shit. With your soaping. And your fucking,
people are.
and your hoodies.
Smosh, smoosh, smosh.
Yeah.
What the fuck do I
cares?
care? Anyway. Number one YouTubers at one point. That's fine. Fair enough. Look, man, I got to tell you, the YouTube I watch is old wrestling documentaries, OSW, and Angry Video Game Nerd. That's pretty much it. So,
People who dissociate into fragmented identities to learn the truth behind this heavily
I hate this guy.
misunderstood.
I fucking hate him.
I bet you people love him, too.
No, I know. But you know what? It's because insincere is what people are used to now. Like, energetic and insincere works. Like, that's very... It's what young people want for some reason, and I'm like, I don't. I can read somebody's insincerity like immediately, and this guy is so fake. I want to strangle him.
Disorder. Does DID access hidden capabilities and skills within the brain, allowing
No.
Next question.
This should be a 55-second
Next question,
video.
please.
people to harness brain power in a way others simply aren't capable of? Or does it keep them feeling bogged down and restricted from participating in normality? Are they openly proud of their disorder? Or has the media's
you stop
portrayal of
yelling?
TID forced them to live a life of
He's
alienation
talking. You know what he is?
and solitude?
He's talking like a dude who just did like the first 3 fat rails of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just sat down and like, yeah, you got a little blow, and you're like, yeah, you guys doing some shit. You start breaking out some lines, and he does 2 big ones right away. This is that first coke rush of the night. He's like, oh, who knows? Who knows? Do they have like hidden capabilities or something? And then like, are they proud? Are they proud? Are they proud of this disease? And let me ask you this. What if we got together and we started a talent management company, right? And we just get all these people and they got disassociated disorder. And what if we get them out there? We can make millions.
I said I was Uber Eating's Hooters. I asked him if you wanted something.
You're like, all right, dude, can you put your shirt back on?
Fucking Christ. This guy's done more coke than Macho Man.
He's so fired up, man.
Too worried of what their presence will unleash in others.
He's talking the way like an up-and-coming actor doing Hamlet, but like in a community theater in Topeka.
Okay, I feel you. I was going to say he has the cadence of a slam poet.
Yeah, there you
like
go.
he's
I like
not
that,
doing
yeah.
slam poetry, but he's doing the thing that like, you know when a guy like does it, like goes to an open mic, but he's like, I do poetry. And he breaks out his little notebook and he starts doing that like, you know, she's sad, so sad because of her dad. You know, like when I start doing all the like that's what he's doing right now. I hate this guy so much. I hate him. Whoever found him, thank you. Forget the disassociated thing. Please sub this. We got to find more shit he's done. Because I bet you this guy's got some fucking gold on his channel.
That's true. We haven't even got to the DID stuff yet.
Fuck the DID. It's this guy. I'm obsessed with him.
So I spent a day with dissociative identity disorder.
Hi, Amanda.
Of course it's a woman. Oh, God.
Hi, the Redwoods.
Oh, okay.
What? It's the Redwoods. Their name is the Redwoods.
That's not a name.
It
That's
is.
a geographical location.
Their name is
That
the
is
Redwoods.
a geographical location, I believe, in California.
It's Susan Redwoods. You don't like the Redwoods? I mean, which one of her personalities don't you like? You haven't
How
even met
many
him.
does she have? All of them.
Wait till you see.
Wait, can you go back to the glamour shot? She's cute. Can you?
Yeah, that's the DID.
Oh, the
picture
DID. Yeah, she is cute. Objectively.
Hi, the Redwoods.
Why is Review Bra trans now?
Review Bra, or she looks like the chick that just did the movie with David Spade. Whenever they need the nerdy chick in something.
Okay, yes. A little bit of Corey Feldman in there too.
Nin.
Hi.
This is the one we normally.
Yeah,
cover.
this is the one we cover.
Thank
She's
you
like, I'll
so
get away
much.
with it because I'm attractive. If you were a fat pig, nobody would put up with your shit. They'd be like, look, I don't give a fuck how many personalities you got. I want the same one coming into work every day or you're fired. Okay, fatty?
for coming out and teaching me about the wondrous world of dissociative identity disorder.
Anthony, there's so much to learn.
What do you consider yourself? Someone with dissociative identity disorder? Someone with multiple alters?
An attention whore.
A white woman who's broken.
So
You notice there's not a lot of guys with this, right?
Well, that guy.
There's not a lot of men with this disorder. You notice that? Like, you ever notice that, like, you know, if a white woman murders somebody, then they'll go, I have multiple personalities. There's another one. It's insanity. Like, men will get arrested for murder, and they'll go, so I found out he was sleeping with my wife, and I caved his fucking skull in with a rock I found in his driveway. End of story. You know, like, we're not creative enough to come up with these weird outs for things where it's like, oh, it was my other evil twin personality. Guys will just go, yeah, he was fucking my wife. I went to his house. I waited for him to get home from work. I beat him to death in his driveway, and then I drove home. And they're like, okay, well, you're under arrest.
We identify as first as we, and we identify as multiple.
Of course.
Sometimes we say we have DID. Sometimes we say we're plural, but multiple is the main word.
How much attention do you need? You know, like...
Hey, Rob, would you?
There was a time in society where you couldn't be this. You would just die. Seriously.
You'd be in the pile of other Spartan babies at the bottom of a fucking cliff.
We're too coddled. Like, we're too, as a society now, it's like, we like understand that even as recently as 100, 200 years ago, we lived in such an unforgiving world that nobody had the time to be this. Nobody had the excess time and energy to be this way. It just wasn't so. You either stopped being a we, stop thinking you're an alien, and start cutting firewood, or you would be consumed by the cold winter. That's the way it was. And now we're just indulged to the point where we prefer to be we, and we are spiritual entity. It's like, no, you're not. You just did who I'm going to assume collects disability on some level.
That we use.
I consider myself being part of a DID system. So you could say somebody with dissociative identity disorder, or if you wanted to refer to us collectively, it would be saying that I'm part of a system of alters.
By the way, this chick is obviously, we said where she's fuckable, but talk about a fucking dice roll, man.
Oh, yeah, of
like,
course.
that's something, you would talk anybody you cared about out of that. Like, yeah, I'm going to go back over with this chick. No, you're not. No, you're not. Do not do this to yourself.
Explain what having DID entails.
Yeah, so having DID means that as a child, your personality was unable to...
It's weird how she's
develop
just normal
into
here.
one singular-
How that just worked out. She's just normal. It's odd to me that, like, for instance, you notice Kyle didn't get invited, right? Because people don't want to watch...
Well, Kyle's on a no-fly list.
People don't want to watch somebody who looks like a 13-year-old boy with a hat and a leather jacket on in a video. They got to sex it up. They need something good for the thumbnail. So go get me the regular disassociated girl. I don't want the fucking... Can't have any of the weird alts. Can't have any of the dudes. We need to sell this video. So they got her all, oh, it's just me. Hello.
You don't want her 50-year-old Pakistani alt?
You know what I mean? Like, you just notice that we got the good one. By the way, sorry, Dave Spurgman in the chat. Jodi Arias had a healthier personality.
Body as a child starts off with an unintegrated personality, and around the ages of between 7 to 9 in normal development. But if there is repeated or severe trauma before that age, then the brain can say, whoa, I can't deal with this.
Is that
this
scientific?
cannot be my life.
Well, see, what they do is just like when they say, like, they roll out these people, one scientist, there's like one or two scientists that'll be like, no, she's telling the truth. But the medical community as a whole has already said there's no way to prove this. You cannot do you can't do a brain scan. You can't do a scientific experiment to prove that these people aren't just lying.
Yeah.
You can't.
Like, there's things you can do for other, like, anxiety disorders, for instance. They can put you in a fucking MRI machine and try to trigger your panic attacks. And if they trigger your panic attacks in an MRI machine, your brain just springs to life. Like, certain areas start coming to life, the bad areas. And they can actually do a whole scan and then show you, yeah, you know, when we brought this up, you started breathing differently, and then look at your brain here. It turned a reddish. You know what I mean? Like, they'll show you that. There is no DID. There's no brain change. Like, Royce, there's nothing going on. It's made up.
And we would not be able to survive if I was aware
And I
of
like the
this.
way she
So
explains it. It's just like your brain is saying, like, whoa, dude, I can't handle this.
That's scientific success.
But it's like she's talking like the doctor from Idiocracy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, hey, man, your brain is just saying, like, whoa, fuck, dude. Can't do all this.
Don't worry, my wife's tarded, and she's a pilot now.
Lots of people are tarded. They're living really pitching lives now.
trauma, along with the ability to dissociate to a high level and having disorganized attachments to your primary caregivers, prevents one personality from fully integrating.
Mike Lutz in the chat says, Anthony Padilla is a beloved YouTuber, incredible actor and interviewer. Doesn't take much for these guys to get jealous of others' success. Sad.
Who said that?
Mike, you left out. You forgot.
Yeah, you forgot that part.
You left that one out, too.
Who said that?
Yeah.
Mike who?
Mike Lutz.
Oh, okay, cool.
You know Mike Lutz, the guy who's always here, always hanging out.
Oh, yeah.
The Mike Lutz.
Oh,
the guy.
Mike Lutz.
Yeah, you know, the guy that everybody in the community knows. Everybody went, oh, no, man, you guys are losing Mike.
He's an established YouTuber. Yeah, Nickel Band's an established band. Doesn't mean I want to fucking watch them play, asshole.
Yeah. You know what? You know who one of the most successful pitchmen in history was? Jared Fogle. So
that.
fucking eat a dick. He was beloved too at one point.
The amnesia that goes up to keep that trauma away. And that's why if you have DID, you have multiple personalities rather than one singular one.
For us, like, when we first started figuring it out, someone thought they were the only person for like a long time. Right?
What? What's the problem?
That's somebody that has no friends.
That's not Scott Pressler?
Does kind of a little Scott Pressler too.
I thought it was Scott
I'm
Pressler.
saving black people for Trump.
Right. Like, as most people think,
Yeah, with his mouth and butt.
oh, I'm just the only
'Cause
person
that's
in
the
this
norm.
body.
I've been out here all day sucking black dicks and telling people to vote for Trump. It's hard to forget when you see that Trump hat bobbing on your dick.
People would identify with normal.
Right. They're like, yeah, of course, there's only one person, right? And you start to think, like, what could this be? Am I?
And by the
am
way,
I
for the
possessed?
record, whoever
Am I-
said the whole this guy's a beloved actor and a YouTuber. Yeah, fake people are usually beloved. Like, if you want to be one of these people that just indulges everybody and is just like, yeah, oh, you have that? I accept that answer. Hey, let me bring you on and indulge you for an hour. Like, you know what? If that's your kind of thing, enjoy that. But yes, I don't know if you realize, fake people are generally more well-liked. Because they're like, hey, I believe you, girl. Like, you know what I mean? Like, sorry, it's either the fucking bullshit.
People are pointing out that the Smosh guy is also the guy that gave a softball interview to Susan when he interviewed her from YouTube.
Is he?
Yep.
You want people to know if that's true.
Yeah. I actually Googled spirit possession when it got really strong.
Whoa.
Yeah. Fortunately, this was like 2012.
Yeah.
There was some article that was like spirit possession versus dissociative identity
Oh, so
disorder.
that-
And I was
You diagnose. Okay, sorry. These fucking people diagnose themselves, and we're supposed to fucking sit here and
Yes.
take them seriously?
Yeah. By the way, we're done. We're done culturally. It's over. Like, there's no more. There is no. Everybody's allowed to self-diagnose, and nobody else is allowed to question anybody or hold anybody's feet to the flames on any issue. That's the way it is now. That's our lives. Our lives are now, I'm living in a spirit body, and you need to accept that. And it's like, okay. And it's like, if you question me, you're a fucking bigot and you will lose your YouTube channel.
was like looking at that, and then I went to a therapist, and they were like, "Yep."
Were you stoked that you were not possessed by a spirit?
I don't know.
Somebody says he also kind of looks like Tobey Maguire.
A little bit.
Do you feel comfortable saying how many altars you have?
At the last count, which was actually about
count.
2 weeks ago, I had 22, I think.
So she just keeps adding new ones? Why can't you just be like every wannabe female comedian and call them all characters and then suck at it that way?
Rob says Nin was diagnosed by a doctor in the UK. He's seen as a quack and will diagnose you with DID or just about anything for money.
Me too.
We're 9 people. living
9.
in one body. So we went from 3.
Oh, so it's like the real world, except you're in one big ugly body. This is what happens when people stop taking their medication and start thinking they're to several people.
To be fair, there's a 44% chance the show's going to get canceled.
That's this 44%. Every week we're going to remove a cast member. We're going to have a series of challenges. The challenge is don't put a in your mouth. If you can pass that challenge, you get to stay in the house.
to 9
Yeah.
over like 7 years.
I have 16. There's 17 of us.
Have
16 or 17?
And I bet-
16 or 17?
And why is it, like, let me ask you something. If multiple personality disorder is actually a real thing, then explain to me why these have like 10 personalities and they're all boring. Why is it, like, if you have all these weird beings living inside of you, why aren't any of them ever interesting? Do you notice that? It's just the same boring putting on different outfits and saying things. There's not one personality inside of you that's like a card shark or a pool hustler
cool.
or a fucking murderer or somebody cool.
Hell yeah.
Why are all your personalities boring YouTubers?
Yeah, that's a good point. None of them are awesome.
Total.
Do any of them do magic tricks?
Dude, even that would be cool.
I know.
Can you get the Penn Jillette personality for me? Or how about the Teller one and shut the fuck up?
Yeah.
How about that? Do you have a personality that's based on Teller where you sit there and don't speak?
Will you do all the work and get none of the credit?
It's pretty much true. Poor
Eternal.
guy.
She's really cool.
You know what, though? He gets half the money. So that's all
He does.
That's
It's
all that
50-50.
matters.
Yeah.
So cares.
A lot of gum on this one. A lot of gum.
A lot of, yeah.
Very gummy.
Very Susan looking.
Very gummy. All right, look.
Is this Susan?
There might be Susan. Look, we're going to have to finish this at some
Do you have a
point this week.
personality that pays people the money you owe them? Can we see that fucking personality, lady?
It depends if your last name has a precious metal in it.
Throughout all of the perspectives, the one we have not seen, the one around whom the story has turned, has been closed off to us until the last quarter of the book, Marco Inaros. And this is significant. I have repeatedly offered the viewpoint that Marco's strategy is non-viable. One cannot simultaneously reject all claims on territory when one's goal is the acquisition of territory. Like the conspiracy of murderers on Illis, who were still thinking like terrorists, that provoking violence against Belters would win them the PR battle by losing their friends and loved ones. Likewise, Marco cannot stop thinking like a rebel, that fighting just operated at a level of scale. Old Belter strategies with weak ships are 10 times more effective at winning the war because the ships are 10 times more powerful, instead of needing new strategy for the new kind of war. Because it's not as if the solar system is some stereotypical banana republic where a key victory by the revolution places them in power. Marco cannot swoop in while the capital is under-defended and seize control for himself by lining up all the old regime forces against a blood-splattered wall. Marco's strategy is earning victories, yes. But as the saying goes, amateurs talk strategy, professionals talk logistics. Marco can't run his fleet without a logistical support base, and he ignores the advice of others on that. Sandrani sends him a 30-minute message explaining that what Marco is doing is pointless. An independent belt can't happen if Marco destroys the belt's financial backing that makes Free Navy script worth anything at all, which would mean the inners would control their economy and thus cut off any true independence for them. But Marco will not listen, dismissing this all as histrionics. As I said at the beginning, Marco presumes that since in his little cell he was the smartest person in the room, he now assumes he's the smartest person in every room. We discover Marco's limitations by going inside of his head. We know that he's charismatic, and we know that he is good at strategy, but that seems to be the limitations of what he knows. Because going inside his head, what we see is that Marco isn't trying to convince people of a convenient lie in order to get what he wants. He's trying to convince them of a lie because he wholeheartedly believes it's the truth. He is certain that his strategy is genius and will not allow any other perspective to intrude. Oh yes, he's continuing to make life difficult, and he can make it so the Free Navy is never defeated. But he believes that not losing is the same as winning. He believes that they can continue to lose assets to the Combined Fleet and Michio Pa, and that the OPA can openly work against him. And somehow he'll still prevail. To hear Marco talk, his enemies are losing when they stay in place, and they're also losing when his enemies are moving. When they're doing the former, he has terrified them into inaction, and when they're doing the latter, he's provoked them into a mistake. Self-confidence is very helpful, but Marco Inaros shows that there is a huge difference between self-confidence and just being an egomaniac. This egotism has cost him something he probably thought he could never lose, the respect of his son. Philip sees Marco for what he is now. So when his father assembles everyone to declare that this is the moment they have been waiting for, Philip doesn't stand there in rapt attention waiting to discover this latest clever plan. Instead, he demands to know if this is really the one this time and not like any of the others before this. How long, as he puts it, are they going to keep falling down and claiming they meant to? Marco cannot countenance this attitude and so dismisses Philip as a child. As he notes, humiliation is even more powerful than a beating. It shows you don't even respect someone enough to take them seriously. After hearing from someone on Tython who lost her mother because of the attack that Philip had led in order to help get the Martian ships, he decides not to rejoin Marco when the flagship departs, getting a job and applying under Naomi's last name. As for Naomi herself, she's on the Rocinante heading for the gates, leading a surprise attack to take Medina. No matter how much Marco talked about not being pinned to territory, Medina was too strategically vital to be lost. Thanks to a distraction with an ice hauler, Bobby and an assault team land on the alien station to take control of the railguns. Only the arrival of Duarte's people was in response to Pa's revolt, knowing that she would potentially compromise security, and so they have reinforced the railguns with their own personnel. Bobby succeeds in stopping the railgun threat, but only by damaging it beyond their ability to repair, and Marco is furiously speeding towards the gate with 14 other ships. No one can do anything to help in time, and Marco revels in the thought of killing Holden, purely for the good of the belt, of course, and of deciding whether or not to take Naomi back and tame her as he always knew she needed to be. His mind is filled with visions of using Medina to its fullest potential, dominating all other human-settled systems across the many colonies, even possibly turning against Duarte, whose faction sits behind a gate with a warning message for no one to attempt to enter. On Medina, while passing along the data the station had on the missing ships, Naomi discovered the pattern. A high-traffic, high-energy transit essentially created a window during which ships would be lost. In a Save Our Skins plan, they used their ice hauler to create such conditions on purpose, and Marco's fleet flies straight into the energized ring and is lost forever, ending the military threat of the Free Navy. But while the threat of the Free Navy to both the Inners and the Belters they wanted to protect may be gone, Holden continues to recognize the bigger picture here, an essential one. What causes people to support a Marco Inaros is not because they love violence or hatred, believe in inflicting murder and suffering as retribution. It comes from desperation. Civilization, Amos had said in Nemesis games, keeps people civil. The reason it keeps people civil is that what you have to gain by uncivil behavior is outweighed by what you gain from being civil. I could gather a few friends, arm them, and take over one of the mansions nearby if I wanted to. And I could talk about living in the lap of luxury there to motivate them to see how we would all benefit. But I wouldn't do that because I know the likelihood of being eventually killed or incarcerated for that isn't worth it compared to my current lifestyle. My life's not perfect, but it's certainly better than the consequences of that. But if my current life isn't worth more than those options, if something were to happen to leave me destitute and without hope, then the unthinkable is worth considering. You can't motivate people by a fear of losing what they have if they've got nothing left to lose. Marco Inaros was a symptom of the problem the Gates presented, which was a future without Belters, a historically marginalized group about to be left behind because mining the outer planets was no longer necessary, and all the infrastructure that supported them would go away as well. The way that a factory shutting down leads to the fall of local businesses because the workforce is no longer capable of patronizing them. This led to outrage in the Belt, as we heard through Robert's chapter before the surrender of Medina to Holden. There's a woman at the bar, in fact, ranting about how they'll let the colonists suffer as retribution for generations of their own suffering, and everyone acting as if that was reasonable. Despite the fact, and remember this, the very first colonists were Belters. It wasn't just people from the bloated Earth or fleeing the Mars terraforming effort. It was Belters, too, who were seeking new opportunities on the colonies. They were being starved out by their fellow Belters and having it called justice. No mention of them is made, but it'll likely be seen as them betraying their people by settling down a gravity well where other Belters can't follow. It's not about the Belt. It's about people inflicting suffering because their own suffering has been ignored. It doesn't make it right, but it helps us to understand what's going on so that perhaps we can address the underlying problem, hence where Holden comes in. Holden's view of this has been from the beginning to find reconciliation, because the colonies are not going away and the Belters aren't going away. Instead, what he proposed is a spacing guild, that Belters could form a union for the express purpose of facilitating transportation between the many colonies and also of handling traffic control through the gate to prevent further loss of ships. This is a need, and Belters have the life experience to handle it. The leaders of Earth and Mars assembled to discuss some of the post-Free Navy topics, during which Holden's idea is shared with them at Avasarala's prompting. Michio Pa, who lost 2 of her spouses in an ambush by the Free Navy and was herself hospitalized for some time because of it, is present at this meeting, under a sort of unspoken amnesty for her part in stopping the Free Navy. Anderson Dawes, Rosenfeld, and Sandrani have all been arrested to answer for the attack on Earth. As Pa listens to Earth's leader list all the virtues needed in the one who needs to head up this new spacing guild, and seeing Holden's grin growing all the wider as she lists them, Pa is certain this is a coronation, forming a new belt under the leadership of James Holden. So she is probably more surprised than anyone when, at the announcement that it will be Holden, that Holden himself will jump up in confusion and outrage that they would put an Earther in charge rather than a Belter. Merit-wise, Holden is certainly up for the job. In fact, one could argue he's perfect for it. But in this case, when there's generations of mistrust between Earth and the Belt, it's going to be impossible for Holden to be anything other than an Earther to a Belt that's fearful that Earthers don't care if they live or die out. Fred Johnson was more committed to the Belt than most Belters, and even he was constantly met with mistrust and hatred. His death was celebrated by some of the very people he had spent so much of his life trying to help and protect. There is no room for forgiveness or possibility of redemption in some hearts. There are only past sins whose stains cannot be removed. Holden would be a very capable administrator with his heart in the right place that would only act in the best interests of the Belt. But that's not good enough. The reason Belters rallied to Marco, even though they didn't approve of murder, was because he was a symbol that the Belt would not be oppressed any longer. Marco is gone, and good bloody riddance. But we need a new symbol now. Pa, despite her history as the Pirate Queen, is the best that they've got right now. Someone who acted for the Belt against both interplanet oppression and Marco's tyranny. Pa can run it because she fed starving Belters when others wouldn't. Pa can run it because she rejected politics for a moral stand. Pa can run it because in a time when people hate and fear, she can stand for unity among Belters and go to the inners on an even footing. The book closes with an epilogue from Anna's point of view, a counterpart to the prologue from Nono's, which had shown how grim things were. The three are now heading to a colony world to begin again. But the opportunity for reflection on these recent events is offered because of a discussion of Nami's history assignment. They're examining whether events that happened would have happened anyway, that they were the result of pressures and developments that just made them inevitable, or if it's the so-called great man hypothesis, that things happened because the right person was in the right place to cause it to happen. The conclusion they seem to settle on is that it can't be one answer alone, but both. A social pressure often requires someone to be there to help it to cause change, and that no matter how great a person, they can't force or resist great change. And there's also a mention of the cycles of history. This discussion naturally suggests that Marco, Holden, Avasarala, and others were there to help direct and focus the historical forces of their times, that what they did mattered even if there was something behind them. But there are also those like Pa, who seem to flip the table over with her decision, providing three undeniable benefits: undermining the Free Navy by both distracting Marco in his quest to make an example of her and also undermining his position with less radical Belters. 2, vouching for Holden to help bring many OPA factions onto his side against Medina. And 3rd, providing the essential information needed to properly raid the slow zone without being cut down by the surprise of the railgun. Likewise, Naomi identifying originally the actual ship losses not being theft, and in the end, how to use this fact to wipe out the Free Navy fleet, was a profound individual difference in the history of the species. While those at the heads of fleets and governments can sometimes be considered to be the avatar of an existing force, an individual making the right or wrong decision can also change history. The reason for this discussion is because so much of these two novels is about the inevitability of history and the cyclical nature of it. These are perhaps the ones most reflective about these points and philosophical about it. More than one reference is made to some of the things that we're seeing being as old as primates. One thing about the human race, we've got a lot of past in our past. The book closes out on this period in history. The final trilogy is set at a later period, what with there being unanswered questions, after all, like what are the Laconians doing back there? Who killed the proto-molecule creators? And why do ships vanish going through the ring sometimes? But Babylon's Ashes draws the expanse as we've known it to a close by showing us a diminishing of power by Mars and a plan to grow the power of the belt in the new form that it will take. The old three-power system is collapsing for something new. Maybe better, maybe worse, though Anna at least counters the early assessment that the stars are better off without us, that perhaps what we are becoming means the stars will be better off with us. The title Babylon's Ashes is naturally a reference to the ancient city of fame and infamy, but what is most notable about Babylon is its majesty. Babylon's Ashes suggests to us the fall of the mighty. Earth isn't what it was, Mars isn't what it was, and in the end, even the power of the Free Navy has evaporated. But perhaps most relevant is what led to this, the opening of the ring gates, the outer worlds all linked up previously by the proto-molecule creators that said things would not and could not go on as they had been. So it's particularly notable that the name of Babylon in the original language translated as Gate of the Gods.
Gina Carano, who used to be one of the earlier female MMA fighters. Obviously, when she was fighting, she was super hot. I mean, ridiculous. She is thicker now, but I don't care. Even thick Gina Carano can get it. Like, that's a fact. No one's going to change my mind. I do understand that when she was younger and thinner. I don't care. You don't Gina Carano. Gina Carano you. So let's start with that. I like her. I thought she was fucking fantastic. I love The Mandalorian. It's a great show. And I thought she was fucking fantastic in that show. Pretty red pill talking about the mask. The masks are stupid. The COVID stuff is dumb. Basically, saying a lot of shit that we say. Well, Gina Carano said something about said that to the effect that Republicans are being treated like using the Holocaust. So they decided that and look, they've been angling for months now. We talked about it on the show before. They've been angling for months to cancel her. They've been trying really hard because she just wouldn't bow down, and that's it. But she made the cardinal sin of criticizing and making light of. You can't do that. I mean, even though senators and CNN and MSNBC were basically calling the Capitol riot equivalent and or worse to 9/11, that is a fact. They were saying those things. That's not me making it up. They were saying it. They could say that. That's fine. But don't imply anything about the one that they talk about, not the Armenian one, the one that the people refuse to talk about, but, the big boy one. So, with that being said, I saw this video this morning. I love the Critical Drinker. I think he does great. I'm actually working on getting him on the show, which would be a lot of fun. I saw this in this it's 4 minutes. It's worth watching. It's the Critical Drinker, so obviously subscribe to him. But tell me what you think.
Gather round, dear viewer, as I tell you a tale. It's the tale of a woman who stood tall in the face of jealousy, cowardice, hatred and vengeance, and dared to utter a single word. No. It's the story of the girl who wouldn't back down. Our story begins a long time ago in a far-off land, with a young woman who decided to become a warrior. Now, this was very unusual, because few women chose such a path for themselves, but she was steadfast and determined to succeed. This young woman proved to be strong and brave. She fought and won many battles, and earned herself great acclaim. But the young woman had her eyes set on a higher goal, and eventually she gave up her life of fighting, travelling instead to the great kingdom of Hollywood to seek fame and glory as an actor instead. And as it turns out, her long years of training and fighting served her well, and soon she was chosen for many roles on the silver screen. Her triumph was cemented when the king and queen chose her to play a soldier, fighting amongst the stars themselves. Her fame was growing fast, but sadly, so was her list of enemies. For you see, a dangerous cult was growing within the kingdom, a sickness of the mind that preys upon the weak, the hopeless and the pathetic, turning them into mindless zombies. Unable to think for themselves any longer, they could do nothing but recite the words of the cult leaders and form into vicious mobs to attack anyone who questioned them. All of the kingdom lived in fear of this cult because few were brave enough to challenge it. Not even the king and queen, with all their wealth and power, because they depended on it to stay safe in their big, comfortable castle. And certainly not the actors, who were mostly self-absorbed cowards that cared only for applause and approval. In fact, most of them even pretended to be in the cult themselves, because it's easier to sacrifice your dignity and your principles rather than stand your ground against...
Especially this fucking asshole, Joaquin Phoenix over here. Mr. Joker movie, Mr. Everybody, this panders to white supremacists, this panders to incels. That's what this Joker does, that's what it panders to. And then he went up there and he did a stupid gay speech about unity and fucking, and I don't know, fucking climate change. Some fucking shit that he doesn't even care about. Thank you, Atlas Report. So fuck him. Fuck Joaquin Phoenix. He's a great actor, and The Joker's a great movie. But Jesus Christ.
The mob. But the young woman was different, and when the cultists tried to turn her into one of them, she didn't just refuse their offer, she openly mocked them. Suddenly, the free people of the kingdom were laughing at them, and their beliefs, and their power was shaken. The young woman had just become their enemy, an enemy that had to be destroyed at any cost. Again and again, the mobs came for her.
Well, let's read some of these. These are good. No one is bullying you. You shaded the BLM movement. You've blocked people commenting it on your post. If you're not racist, then prove us wrong, because that looks pretty racist to me. Prove us wrong. That's the fucking man. Calm down, Royce. Just relax. Your screaming's not going to fix anything. You know that. That's my point. When it comes to all of this stuff, nobody owes you anything. No one needs to prove anybody wrong. Like what you like, don't like what you don't like. If you don't like Gina Carano, don't support her. Don't watch The Mandalorian. But you can't. And look, I love Star Trek. I like Star Wars. Notice I said love and like, because there's a difference for me. But these people, their whole life is Star Wars. Their whole life is Harry Potter. It's like three things that define them. So instead of saying like, but you can't, because you need to watch The Mandalorian. You need to watch it. So instead of shutting it off, if you just don't like her, don't want to support her. Now, see, there's a difference between me and these people. I can watch stuff that people I don't like make if they're good, because I could separate the art and the artist. I can. Like, it's not difficult for me. I am sure 99% of the things that I watch on TV are made by people that are lefties and or are too scared to say anything or pander to the left. I get it. YouTube, the same thing. That's just life. Okay, that's life. But I don't care, because if I watch Joaquin Phoenix and the Joker, it doesn't mean that I'm going to listen to anything the fucking actor has to say about anything, because I don't really care. Fucking dance for me, monkey. I paid my $10 to watch the movie. That's just the way I look at it. Some more tweets here. She really thinks we would create 12 fake accounts just for her. But anyways, you call people cowards. But who is the one blocking people for calling you out on your racist bootlicking behavior? I'm sorry you're so triggered by teens and adults calling you out for being a cop apologist and a racist. A cop apologist and a racist. Imagine being a grown woman thinking you're being bullied by a bunch of teenagers on the internet. Look, it's not. This is the other thing. That's a misnomer, and that's fucking bullshit. It's not a bunch of teenagers that are bullying you on the internet, because you go through these profiles and you go and see who these people are, and it's not a bunch of fucking teenagers playing Pokemon. Okay, it's a bunch of adults. It's a bunch of blue-haired in their 30s. It's a bunch of fucking guys making the soy boy face. Those are the people that are bullying her. Don't fucking pretend. Don't fucking pretend that it's just a bunch of teenagers, that they're just being kids, because it's not. And there's a lot of people that are criticizing her that don't even watch her work. Man Army 2, Joker 2019 sucked like poo. I liked it. The Angry Druid, you should do a video comparing Hasbro G.I. Joe to Fast and the Furious, arguing G.I. Joe action is more realistic. Agreed with you 100%. Calling you out for being a bootlicker isn't trolling, Gina. It's calling you out on being a bootlicker. All of these people are the same people that if you were to, for even 5 seconds, make a joke about their preferred pronouns in their Twitter account, they would have your account nuked from the planet. They would fucking use the Ronald Reagan Star Wars system to destroy you so you're never seen again. I promise no one cares enough about... I mean, ready with that. Oh, and by the way, there's no trolls. Everyone just hates you. Everyone does not hate you. That's actually bullshit. Oh, no, I'm Gina Carano. I'm being bullied by teenagers on the internet. A fucking teenage... These people, these fucking people, man. But cancel culture isn't real. Suck a dick.
Had to be destroyed at any cost. Again and again, the mobs came for her. But again and again, they were beaten back. Their rage and frustration knew no bounds. Here was an enemy that would not bend the knee to them, no matter how much they screamed at her, and could not be defeated by even the fiercest mob. An enemy that threatened to expose them for the weak, frightened, pathetic individuals they had once been, and deep down they still were. Sensing the growing power of the cult and their ability to turn friends, families, and neighbors into enemies, the young woman tried to warn the kingdom of the threat they posed. She even gave examples of other evil cults.
Are beaten in the streets not by soldiers, but by their neighbors, even children, because history is edited and most people don't know and realize to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews. The government first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews. How is that any different than hating someone for their political views?
Cults from other kingdoms who had once done similar things, and in that decision lay her downfall. Simply by naming them, she had inexplicably tied herself to them in the eye.
Hold on. Drinker. Critical Drinker's a smart dude. Critical Drinker's a smart dude. I want your verdict here on this. Did he say naming them? Because, let's be realistic. In 2021, when you say naming them, we all kind of know what you're talking about. I get it. His channel's big. He's 700,000 subscribers almost, and I get it. He wants to keep his channel, and good for him. But I see what you did, bud. Hey, I see what you did, and I respect it. And I respect it, buddy. That's all. Hey, Drinker, I respect you, bud.
Decision lay her downfall. Simply by naming them, she had inexplicably tied herself to them in the eyes of the cult. She had exposed a chink in her armor that they could exploit, and exploit it they did. The greatest mob the kingdom had ever seen gathered at the gates of the castle, demanding the young woman's head. And the king and queen, desperate to stay on their shiny throne, finally gave them what they wanted. The young woman was brought down and handed over to the mob. Her so-called friends had deserted her. The cult had won at last, because no one had the courage to stand against them. No one except the girl who wouldn't back down. But the king and queen's reprieve would be short-lived, for the people of the kingdom had seen them for the cowards they were, and would no longer work to protect their castle. In fact, they turned their backs on them by the thousands, leaving the kingdom far behind, until at last the mob came for them as well. Too late did they realize that if only they had stood with the young woman when they had their chance, all of this could have been avoided. But of course, this is just a story from an old drunk. It's not like something as sinister and pathetic as this could ever actually happen. Could it? Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
They wrecked her fucking career. They wrecked her life. And nobody defends them. I mean, look, obviously people like us and there's other people online that defend them, but none of her peers will defend her now. That's it. She's persona non grata. That's all she is now. I have the rest of the multiple personality video that we were watching yesterday.
Oh, yeah, let's watch him.
You want to do that? Okay.
Yeah, no, without question. That guy was great.
So we only got through some of it, and just a quick little update for those that may have missed it yesterday. First off, where the f*** were you?
And also, secondly, right, have we confirmed that that's not Susan Wojcicki?
We don't know. We have not confirmed. But this is one of the dudes from Smosh, which apparently you're supposed to know, or you're a loser.
So he is from something?
The guy interviewing him is one of the dudes from that Smosh YouTube channel.
What is that?
Smosh is a huge YouTube channel, apparently, and people were calling us stupid for not knowing who they were. But, I mean, I don't know, man. I only watch my things on YouTube, and maybe we are dumb. 25 million subscribers Smosh has. I guess they've been around a long time. Whatever. I don't know.
But I'm looking at their Wikipedia, and I'm looking at, like, their sort of whatever their sphere of, like, things that they're interested in. Of course I never heard of these guys. It's literally just all, like, I don't know.
So
these were like kid YouTubers a while back. You know, we missed that boat. Sorry.
So the dude from Smosh has been interviewing people that have multiple personality disorders, or as it's called now, dissociative identity disorder, or as I call it, a fucking lie. And he's going through different YouTubers that have it, and they're explaining to him how they got it, and blah, 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 blah. So we only got up to 4 minutes of this video. It's a long video, so let's keep doing it. Here we go.
7 years.
I have 16. So there's 17 of us total, ranging from age 4 to eternal.
Eternal?
Eternal. She's really
because
cool.
we're all making this all up as we go.
That is the face of a fucking raving lunatic.
Yeah.
That is a raving lunatic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
She's really, really cool.
Well, do you show her frequently?
She fronts.
She looks like the kind of woman who doesn't like that you left your garbage cans out one extra day, so she literally calls the police. You know what I mean? She's one of those.
And when the police show up, they're upset. They're like, look
man, he's full of garbage cans.
I don't want to be here. All right.
I was actually on my lunch break, and there were no other deputies available, and I had to come to this.
So just do me a favor.
Do me a solid. And you're
Please.
like, yeah, I'll do the.
Yeah, man. Sorry, man.
But it's all right. Fine, I'll do it. Right, but it's not because she told me to, and it's like that's fine, man.
I don't care. Just
he's doing me a solid.
Can you do it for me?
Like thanks.
Thank you. And then he gives you a card. If you get a speeding ticket, just here, give him this.
This woman calls me 7 times a week. She calls the station 7 times a week. Somebody parked 4 inches away from the curb last week. She called us 3 times. We actually had a triple homicide we were investigating. We had to pull a detective off of that.
They don't call me the freeze frame kid for nothing, by the way.
No, she actually called us because she thought that maybe some kids were swimming in her pool when she was sleeping at night, and they broke into her yard. So we pulled 2 detectives off a triple homicide so we could dust her pool for prints. Mm-hmm. This is the kind of woman I'm talking about.
But don't worry, her attorney is a cat.
No, I'm not a cat. I can't get the dang filter off.
All right, let's continue here.
Occasionally, she's the caretaker, so she takes care of the littles in our heads, and then occasionally she'll.
Oh, littles! We've learned what this is. Littles are some of their alters are children.
Come out to take care of me.
Okay, but this is an easy fix, right? Okay, off to the loony bin you go, right?
Can we start calling it the loony bin again? I love that.
But we put you in the loony bin, and hear me out on this, right? If we brought back loony bins, do you know how many of these attention-seeking would go 180 and go, no, I'm cured. I don't have it anymore. I'm fine. We need, and when I say bring back loony, I don't even mean like the stereotypical like the hospitals where they give you drugs and stuff. I'm talking one of those asylums like from Boardwalk Empire that they put Jillian Darmody in.
Which one of her alts is Chrissy Mayer? Do we know?
All of them.
Oh, you're right.
Me if I'm not doing so well. So she kind of fronts in the sidelines and behind the scenes more.
First off, do you prefer to be referred to as single or plural?
Well, it depends who you're talking to. If you're talking about...
You're not that pretty or interesting.
Not enough. Not for this.
That anybody's going to want to deal with this. You know what I mean? I mean, you're probably good for a quick pump, but like...
Well, which one? Which 37s of hers?
Kyle.
I'm all for Kyle, too, dude. Kyle fuck you like a dude.
Hey, let's fuck, bro.
Kyle's a top.
About me, as in me, the person sat in front of you, talking to you with my personality, then it's me, one person as Nin. But if I was...
Can you do it on command like Rich Little used to do impressions? You think can you do that?
I think it would go a little something like this.
Was that your Bill Cosby? Because that was a Bill Cosby.
Yeah, I guess.
That was pretty good.
And then there's the De Niro.
Yeah.
You just do the fucking underbite thing. Yeah, that's not
like that.
fucking. You're not Rich Little lady.
A co-con, so there was more than one person essentially in the driving seat,
Yeah.
then it would be we.
I know I've said.
What are you, fucking Voltron in the driving seat? Are you serious?
Oh, I know I've said this before, and I'll probably say it 100 more times when we watch these videos. But you know, you got 3 in there, right? 78 personalities among them, and not one interesting one.
Yep.
Like, what are the odds that you have 27 personalities and they're all boring bitches?
And they're all YouTubers.
Yes, they're just
Which
all
is weird.
boring YouTubing.
I think that she should that
Can I
YouTube.
finish the sentence?
Oh, I apologize.
No, I was joking.
I was like, did I talk over you?
You said, I think she should, and I'm like, can I finish?
No, please don't. I thought you were still saying something. I was like, oh, my bad. I thought I was fucking disassociating for a second. I'm like, something happened? And yes, I know. I think she should do that too. But I think that they should be allowed on YouTube, but with one caveat. Every one of her personalities has to have their own channel. So you can't have one channel. Your subs have to be spread across 37 different YouTube channels.
Mm-hmm.
More than one person.
How might a normal day be different for you?
Ah! I can't. I know
This one's really...
This is a rough one.
This one's a really
This one's a rough one.
Let's answer this question. Yeah, so this is.
You know what he looks like? Or she looks like? Or they look like? The newer SNL cast member. The one with the curly hair, the skinny one. You know what I'm talking about? I forget his name. Someone will know. But that's who they look like.
This person.
This is Z. So it was like a combination of Allie and Eliza talking before.
Oh, okay.
We can kind of blend.
Well, hold on. So alts can blend? Can be more than one?
Guys, I figure I didn't know Royce was so behind on this, so I'm gonna school him a little bit here.
Please.
You see, Royce, when everything you're doing is totally made up, you can pretty much do whatever you want. See, this isn't a mental illness. This is just a really, really bad improv exercise.
I got it. Yes, and?
Yeah, that's all it is. It's just a bad UCB exercise. Yeah. So it's like sometimes they just blend together and then they become dragons. And you're like, that's
weird.
Cool.
Weird, I think.
And sometimes. So when we first came into what we would call co-consciousness.
And what I would call disgusting.
Yeah. And that's
I'm telling you right now, if you could bring back involuntary admission to mental health hospitals, these people would go, no, I'm cured. I'm fine.
I'm fine.
No, I was kidding. I'll go to work.
In term, which is the shared experience of kind of being able to talk to each other. A lot of people don't have that, and they're basically like coordinating in the dark with someone who's not there when they're there. And so like you might be doing something and then come back and it's 3 days or 3 weeks later.
What do you do? I have a feeling you don't do much.
Well, you got to get to the dilation station on time.
I'm sure this is not one of those that even committed that far.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, this is just you probably lay around, smoke pot all day, and play Nintendo Switch when we're doing something. Like what? Like what? The whole basis of this multiple personality shit is that you know deep down when you're alone with your thoughts that you don't do anything. That you're just going to be you're going to be bones in a box like the rest of us someday. And that dread that creeps in makes you feel like, okay, I have to be something super special. I can't just be another normie motherfucker. So you've decided you're multiple people living in a celestial like it's nonsense. You just don't want to face the fact that you're a nobody who will accomplish nothing and you'll die.
And your life has been lived and all kinds of stuff is happening. I have a friend who would be heading one place and then someone would switch and then they'd head back home and then they'd switch and head back and forth and it would take like 4 hours to get out of that
So
loop.
they shouldn't be driving. If this is the thing. They want to have their fucking cake and eat it too, right? If you want to say you have this, okay, fine, you have this. Then you shouldn't be allowed to drive.
No.
Because if you really can't control who you are, you should never be behind the wheel of a car, ever.
Yeah, like I honestly, there have been times, and I'm sure you've had this too. I've had legitimate times where I need to be somewhere or something, and my anxiety is so bad that I don't want to get behind the wheel of a car because I am putting people in danger. Like I'm better off driving with alcohol in me than I am driving if I can feel a panic attack coming on. If I can get a Xanax, then I could take like a half a Xanax and then I drive and I'm fine. But like Roy said, if you feel like this thing is going to pop up while you're driving, you're putting people in. You shouldn't be allowed to drive a car. You should have some self-awareness and go, yeah, I can't drive. I'll take an Uber or something because I might pass out while I'm behind the wheel. And I don't want to do that.
loop until the same person came back and was like, no, we're actually going here. And what they learned to do is to text themselves or leave notes on their iPhone and read those. And so it's kind of when you come to the front and you feel disoriented, you can read those notes.
It's almost like having amnesia and leaving notes for yourself.
No, it's called dissociative amnesia.
It's like Memento, except I fucking at least understood Memento.
Yeah.
I don't know what this is.
Basically the term for that.
I was in the bath. I just switched.
I was in the bath. I was doing a video for my OnlyFans.
She's British. She's like, I was taking me monthly bath.
Out, so I had no memory of what happened before. Didn't remember getting in the bath because it wasn't me. It was my.
How do you travel alone? How? Because this is shot in America. How did you fly to the States?
I couldn't remember anything, right? I was in the bath, and then all of a sudden I come to and I've got a back massager in me twat, and I'm just laying there like, what happened?
They call it the stranger.
And then they were like, oh, you was making cummies, and I said, oh, you sure, isn't it? And then we was like, oh, and then we went and got some Indian food because that's the only thing we've got here.
My alter Kyle, who's my primary protector, and he'd apparently decided.
Let me tell you something. If Kyle's a dude, I'll knock that fucker out. I ain't worried about Kyle. He's protecting shit.
Are you allowed to beat up, like, dudes?
You're the dude. I mean, I'll play your game if you want, but then you're a dude.
Decided that he wanted a snack while he was in the bath, and there was just this half-eaten banana on like the shampoo holder, and
you're lying.
I was like, "What? Why? That's disgusting."
Why do we let people do this? Like, why? You know, I was watching this clip of Patrice last night when he was just talking about how, like, you know, brutal honesty is such a shitty term because honesty should be good. The truth should be good. The truth should be what we seek, right? But nobody wants to be honest anymore, and it's like, no, everyone's just going to indulge this dopey bitch instead of just being like, bitch, stop making this stuff up. Stop it.
Just realize that you are in a bathtub with a half-eaten banana.
like peeled. It was pretty beautifully presented, actually.
How do you feel about the different labels in terms of personality,
attention whores, liars,
identities?
I want to get interviews like this. I want to be like this fucking earring flock of seagulls hair. I want to be like, I want to get the guests he gets, so I can go like, so like I'm just curious, like, what's it like being a
comment
while the same inspirational music's playing
piano
on the same set, by the way, same everything, just going like, what is that? Please tell me, and then do like a Jiminy Glick. What's it like to be? And go. I'm shifting around on my chair.
And just in the background, it's just this.
So tell me, what's with your fake British accent? I hear you're from Cleveland. Is that true?
Oh, you're doing the whole quickly.
He's fucking tucking his gut in and pulling the cards out. God, what was his wife's name?
I forget.
He always mentioned his wife.
Jiminy Glick was fantastic.
You know what's weird? I'll be the first to admit I didn't get it when I was younger. Like, I just didn't understand it. But it's one of those things you watch later when you're older and you're like, why didn't I like this when I was younger? This is brilliant. It's fucking brilliant.
There are a lot of people who don't like the term personality because
I don't.
Because I don't have.
God damn it! We
butt heads. We butted heads on that one.
I had to invent a bunch of fantastic stories to be interesting.
a lot of people think of personality, they think of like how you act in a certain situation. So some people, when I've told them about DID in its most basic terms, have said like, well, I have a completely different personality when I'm at work, and then I come home and I'm a different person. And it's like, I completely understand what you're saying. But it's kind of different when it comes to DID. So some people feel that the term personality isn't quite encompassing or serious enough. I don't mind the term personality, but
this fucking smosh asshole.
But this is what but this is what we're becoming culturally, is just people telling you obvious nonsense while you go, wow, that's cool. We just everybody indulges each other too much. There's no more honesty left. Honesty is dead. It's a dead concept.
The term that's generally used in the community and the scientific kind of side of things is alters, because it stands for alternate state of identity.
You're making up things. I get it. You're making up I got it. Trust me, I get it.
Like when they talk about this shit, right? It's like when you hear people talk about like Mormonism. And you're like,
so here's the thing, like when I die, like I get my own planet, right?
Wow.
It's really cool, like, dude, and like up until like the 70s, we didn't even let black people in, which was kind of really cool. Native Americans are actually demons. So the Native Americans are demon people, and when we came to America, Jesus was a farmer.
Sir, I don't mean to cut you off. The line is starting to get pretty long behind you.
Oh, sorry.
Do you want to ring up those Lucky Charms and that fucking pack of Cools? Did you want to move this along, please?
Yeah. Hey, bring them young. There's people that want to buy their Slurpees.
But it's like, and people just go, wow, yeah, that's great. You get your own planet. Or like Scientology. And then a bunch of the bad souls were doomed, and they put them in a volcano and then used DC-10s to drop nukes on the souls of the pit. And you're like,
I get it, but you have to take the eye test if you want the license. So,
sir, we gotta move along.
Put your face on the thing,
sir. If you're not gonna, okay, you know what? C4, C4, get out of here.
Beat it.
And I kind of felt myself as a consciousness retreat to the back of my own mind. So I was watching everything from behind, and there was just nothing there.
In 2012, so
in 2012, Jim Henson did my voice until he passed away. Fucking one of her alts is Kermit D. Frog.
If I could have any superpower in the world, it would be to just shatter these people's delusions and make them live in the horrendous pain of self-awareness for just a moment. If I could do that, if I could have just one Professor X ability, it would be the ability to make you go, oh my God, I really am nothing, and I'm going to die alone. And oh my God, if I could make these people spiral with my mind, I would. The fact that they live in this coddled little universe, and these fucking YouTubers just can go, yeah, wow, and they can spread dangerous medical disinformation while we get kicked off of YouTube for making gay jokes with our friends.
Yeah. That's, well, obviously what we're doing is more dangerous to society than people that think they're 30 people and are driving.
Royce, I barely leave the house.
Yeah, well.
Okay? These people are driving in complete fugue states. I would say that I'm still less of a threat to the community than they are.
I wish I had a bunch of alts just so maybe one of them could understand what the fuck Donnie Darko was about.
Yes.
Because honestly, like, I don't fucking...
Royce is going to have one personality, and that's his only defining characteristic is that he understood Donnie Darko.
Oh, yeah, I know what the rabbit was about and the fucking engine that fell off the plane.
It's a very existential film, and it's sort of done in a style that's... You're like, okay.
I would hate that personality.
What a waste of a personality.
What a waste of a movie.
Shut up. Shut up.
That same personality is just Royce going, you ever listen to Fear Factory?
Yes. Oh, fucking Christ.
This guy sucks.
This guy's terrible. That personality is the one that goes to parties, but only plays like the first few chords of a song, but never plays the whole song, and you want to smash the guitar over their fucking heads.
Like, dude, this personality sucks. Can I have the original? Can I have gay Royce?
Hey, wait a second.
Can I have the cool gay guy I do the show with back?
Oh, fuck, man.
This is...
Goodbye.
So we just switched right there. Really. So there was Allie talking, but then like Allie pulled away because this is Eliza. I was the one who was
boring
there.
everybody, and I thought I'd switch because it's my only trick. It's the switch.
And thought I was the only one. So, yeah, I thought I was a boy. And
So
it's probably the penis. I would assume it was the cock and balls.
By the way, we can agree this piece of shit is the most low effort, terrible one out of all of them.
Yeah.
Like at least the fucking chick like does a little like, whoa, hang on. Oh boy, I'm getting a. Oh boy, I'm switching, and then she makes the transformer sound. We come on, and then she's like, oh, now I'm a dude. This one just goes. Yeah, you know, it's like this one actually doesn't change the voice, the cadence, anything about how they talk, and then just finishes the sentence. And then they're like, oh, I switched there. You didn't catch it? Ah, you didn't catch it?
At least fucking Nin tries to do the whole like, the Kali Ma switch. But, you know, she's just switching like on the fucking fly.
By the way, can I just point out that this guy who probably pretends to be really supportive and nice and he's not exploitive at all. If you notice, he's only having the mildly attractive girl and the absolute. There's been absolutely no emphasis on the other one.
Oh, Gummy McGee?
Because she's boring and he knows it's not good content.
Yeah.
He doesn't actually give a shit about these people.
I thought I was one person. Pretty standard, like
You are.
expectations.
That's how I grew up. Yeah.
Right.
You're just
yeah.
one
And then I just had this,
terrible, mediocre, broken person.
like weird, triggering confrontation with a stranger.
She looks like she's about to disassociate to Ben Shapiro. She kind of looks like Ben, man. She really does. Or they, I don't know, whatever are.
It's they, them, okay?
Okay, facts. First off, all of my personalities show gold, okay? Bull and branch sheets are great for all my 37 alts.
Do you have, out of your 37 alts, is any of them not a Zionist?
All my alts can go to Israel anytime they want for free.
Oh, nice.
I get to go anytime I want to Israel, folks.
Not free. The American taxpayer pays for it.
No. Free for me.
Sure. Basically, what I understand is that I had a whole system of covering up all of this, a whole like strategy and everything. But I was so busy dealing with family member with cancer, personal life stress, housing stress, and then this.
Yeah, life, man. You're dealing with lady. You're dealing with stuff that
is life.
It's human. It sucks. These things fucking suck, and life is brutal sometimes. But that doesn't mean you get the fuck. fucking pretend to be the entire fucking Pittsburgh Steelers when you're bored.
You know what I love is these people too. They always pretend they had this deep trauma, but then when you ask about it, they were in like a mild fender bender like 10 years ago, and you're like, that's not a deep trauma. Like people that have been to wars, people that have been, people that have real trauma.
There's people that have been. There's prisoners of war that don't act like you. If you have PTSD, you're allowed a couple things. You're allowed to thank you for your service and being afraid of fireworks.
Yeah,
and that we'll allow you those things.
Oh, and by the way, don't think I'm not going to do fireworks.
Because I'm still doing them, but I'm going to feel bad about it.
I'm just going to be aware of your thing.
Okay?
This sudden trigger, it crumbled.
Yeah.
And there was...
I'm not allowed to celebrate with fireworks because you got hyped up from some commercial you saw right after 9/11?
Yes, well...
And now my fucking holiday weekend's ruined? I don't think so, pal.
Well, to be fair, it was a Marine fighting a lava dragon or something, so he had to go fucking
Is that the one in the dress blues with the sword?
That's the one. That's the one. That would be the one.
Should have went into battle with your sword, Brad. Would have been badass.
Or you could join the Marines, the Air Force.
Yes.
It doesn't matter.
Allie and Z.
How did you feel once you realized?
Yeah, that I wasn't the only one here.
Yeah.
So the first feeling was actually overwhelming love and joy. I was.
You think we're gonna see the other one? You're right, dude. Look, I'm skipping through it, and it's all Nin and the.
Oh, they tell me
Here we
their
go.
names.
Oh, really?
And I have no idea where they come up with some of them. Because I'm like,
In your brain, you come up with them. I'm assuming, looking at you, they're mostly Harry Potter names.
like, this is not something I would have ever chosen. Like, what? Where did that come from? Like, one of my altar's name is Freedom.
Freedom.
Yes.
Does that alter?
Do you know what this? I want to just say something. Do you know what I can tell this woman has heard many, many times in her life before? Well, I got to hop off here.
Yep.
But yeah, keep on trucking or whatever. And,
Keep on keeping on.
Talk to you soon.
All right.
This one, you know what phrase this woman's heard more than any other phrase in her life? Well, I'm going to go ahead and let you go.
Yeah.
Click.
A lot of people always have meetings they forgot they had to go to when they're talking to her.
Another great freeze.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Royce's freeze. Royce dumb lucks his way into the greatest freezer. Like, I'll hit a good one occasionally on Nightwave, but I'll never beat Royce's freeze frame batting average. They're always ridiculous.
Holy shit.
Her represent freedom in any way?
I mean, her first name was Pain, and then she switched it to Freedom.
Oh.
I hate these people so much.
First name was Pain.
I have so much. I
Yeah.
have nothing but hate and contempt in my heart for these people.
Last name great. Last name ever. First name greatest.
A very literal
Yeah,
naming
so
system.
it was for her. So
Yes.
some of my protector's name
She
is
needs
Brad.
to go to one of the
Like,
old
just a
school,
very-
like I was saying, the Boardwalk Empire Mental Hospital.
They take
where,
your teeth out?
Not even. They were like literally cutting like organs out of them because they
Yeah.
thought that's what the bad was. They're just coming in with these huge scars in their abdomen and going, "The doctor got the evil out."
Yeah, no.
Name not protector, but name is Brad.
Yes, the protector, his role is a protector. For
How come all the protectors for these women are always male characters? You notice that?
Because, trust me, if you were really to try to start peeling back the layers of the onion of the female psychology, you'd be there all fucking day. I mean, like, they resent men, they hate men, but deep down, they're still wired. See, women don't necessarily hate men. Women hate themselves. So women hate all of those instincts that they all have, that they want a man. They want to have a man. They want to be protected. They want to be cared for. They want to be cared about, right? They don't hate men. They resent that deep down they need a man. They hate that. They hate themselves. They hate their own desire for like a patriarchal force in their life. So they rebel against it, and that's why you get these fucking blue hair, and they lose their fucking minds. But when a subconscious thing like this happens, they're like, my protector's the man. And it's like, yeah, because you can't find a man.
There's no way that the nin one, that the hot one, can't get a dude though. Like dudes will still fuck. I mean, there's no way. Not this.
Yeah, they will. They'll fuck her, but she's not keeping any guys. That girl's not keeping any men. She might get laid. I mean, I'd fuck her, but well, actually, I probably wouldn't with all the context. But she probably also plays down all that multiple personality shit when she's out. You know what I mean? There's probably guys that just fucking hit it and then realize they walked in home.
Look at that hottie.
I'm sexy.
Well, okay, then they're
set
about
up
to
for us to
dissociate.
have
Watch
an
this.
easy time as folks with the ID.
Like, I'm dissociating now. And
Hold on. She's dissociating now. Here we go. Who's she going to be? I'm saying Toucan Sam. What do you think?
Whoever it is, I hope they drop a hard N-word right in the middle of this.
Can she disassociate to our Bud Dwyer?
I'm sorry, my alternate is gassy.
Childish?
Sorry, my alternate thought it would be a good idea to have both a Bang energy drink and then coffee with half and half in it.
Oh, no. Oh, no, it's terrible.
I didn't have it, but my alternate.
Oh, I can smell it now.
It's like one of those that makes. It's one of those farts that doesn't sound like a fart. It sounds like a floorboard squeaking. They're like, oh, sorry.
Let me know whenever you're ready.
Here she goes.
Stephen will be back looking, but now if only Pepin would return.
Yo, what's up, player?
You know, it'd be so great, right?
Name withheld. Child alter? What is going on here?
Name withheld. It's not a real person, sir. Oh my god, dude! You know, it would be honestly. You know, what would make me really like just fall in love with this chick is if she took this gimmick as far as she could until one day she's on like H3 or she's on like Joe Rogan and she's talking and she's like, oh no, I'm disassociating, and then she does this old gag again and then she just sits there for like 2 minutes staring straight ahead in dead silence and then just goes, I've been fucking with you guys the whole time. I've been bullshit. Like, you guys are so stupid.
I'm not even British.
You really fall for this?
I'm from Pittsburgh.
You really let me come on this show?
You guys are...
Oh, my God, dude.
You'll fall for anything.
Jesus Christ. And then I'd be like, okay, you know what?
Yeah.
I'd be like, that's chick rules. That's the only way she can redeem herself. Oh, I've been bullshitting you guys for 2 years. I got a fucking YouTube plaque and everything. You guys are dumb. And then she's like, I'm starting an OnlyFans. I'm going to stick things in my pussy hole. And everybody's like, you know what? This chick's all right.
Nice.
I'm going to be doing a video where I les out with Belle Delphi.
Miami Milf says, the name's withheld because you can't dox a child, bro.
I'm getting angry.
Why, dude?
I'm getting angry.
What are you mad about?
You know what I'm mad about?
Wow.
We're dying as a species, and it's because we're just sitting here letting this kind of stuff happen. It's because we all sit around and go, wow, that's really interesting. Instead of going, bitch, you're full of shit. Stop.
So let's talk about this article from newrepublic.com by Seth Simons. Have you read this article? Have you read this?
Can I summarize? I know I haven't, but let me guess.
Sure.
Comedy is toxic. The Stand bad. The Stand bad. Comedy toxic. Gas Digital bad. Louis J. Gomez bad. Toxic masculinity and comedy bad.
The comedy industry has a big problem.
It's like I could write your life story for you, Seth. You are literally the most one-note douchebag on the planet.
How safe spaces for transgressive humor, both online and in real life, help breed a hateful ideology.
This guy just won't stop, man.
In the dark recesses of the internet lurks a man who goes by toxic cis white male fat. He's made his home on the ONAforums.net, a community named after the shock jock duo Opie and Anthony. A safe space to say what cannot be said offline. He's posted in threads like N-word hate thread #1, the K-word hate thread. Juno comes out as a...
Wait, did the O&A people really just buy a message board and make subsections called N-word hate and K-word hate?
Well, in threads. There was a thread called N-word hate thread, the K-word hate thread, and also Juno comes out as... and official post-election voter fraud thread, where he called Joe Biden a who's about to die in the Oval Office.
That's the O&A subreddit. Well, the whatever message board.
Elsewhere, he derided the COVID-19 vaccine, which he calls juice.
So wait a minute. Has Seth Simons now to the point where he's just now picking out random message board posters?
That is correct.
And writing entire articles about them?
Yes.
Hey, Seth, this is why nobody respects you. And it's weird, right? Because you failed at comedy, so then you went into journalism for comedy, but you're failing at journalism. So you're like a man without a world. You're like the Stringer Bell of the comedy industry. You're not quite gangster enough for one world, and you're not quite the businessman enough for the other. You're a man without a country. Seth, nobody likes you, not even your editor that has to fucking post these shit stories.
Hey, at least Stringer Bell went to college.
Good point.
Elsewhere, he derided the COVID-19 vaccine, which he calls juice. And I quote, chinky sauce.
Chinky sauce?
Maybe he's writing this stuff because it's fucking hilarious. Last year, he revealed that his Twitter account, AP Von Tarkson, the username matches a commentator on Thought Catalog, which toxic cis white male fat has said he trolled after it retracted a phobic essay by the Proud Boys founder Gavin McInnes.
Gavin.
His contributions there were more of the same. Under a 2015 post titled, "When You Love the Chase," he once commented, "There is not more despicable human on earth than a fat white N-word fucker. Get an AIDS test. You have it." The internet can sometimes be one big rabbit hole, and if you make it down to the bottom, waiting for you as a person. At the bottom of mine was toxic cis white male fat. I've spent the last 5 years writing about the comedy industry, and the last 3 or so covering inequality and extremism within it. Yeah, because you're not fucking doing comedy anymore, obviously.
$10 says this guy's just Nick Mullen.
This
just anonymously posting on the boards.
This work has periodically brought me in contact with some of the leading lights in the scene's transgressive edge. The place where popular mainstream comedy bleeds into the kind of right-wing politics that animated the Capitol riot last month. It's a place hostile to prying eyes, and the blowback can be furious. I have been harassed and trolled on social media, mostly by Luis J. Gomez, though. I have been doxxed as have members of my family, and eventually I found my way to message boards where toxic cis white male fat, who I have a reason to believe thought I cannot definitively prove is the person at the heart of the New York City club comedy scene. Oh, you're about to get there.
Can I just point out something before we get into all of the parts of this article that I will predict 100% accurately? Sure. Because Seth Simons, again, is just a one-night note broken record. Seth Simons is... You know when there's like a kid, right, that's just getting his ass beat every day in school, right? And because there is a difference between just brutally picking on the same kid every day. But I'm sure you remember growing up, and I remember growing up, there was always that kid that would get bullied, but like he'd start it. There was always kids like that would like, they'd put themselves in situations to be bullied.
Yeah.
It's not like some kids went, "Hey, loser, we're beating you up today." It's the kid that was like, "We didn't get all the homework," or it's the kid that tattles, or it's the kid that like says some shit to the fucking other kids, and then they start beating him up every day. Then he goes to the principal and goes, I'm being bullied every day. And it's like, but you're just don't engage. Like Luis J. Gomez didn't just go like, "Hey, let's fuck with Seth Simons, doggy." Like he just kept needling them, and then they all started mocking him mercilessly. And then he's like, "But I got doxxed." And it's like, that's... Well, you do that for a living. You dox people for a living. That's what this whole thing is.
He was calling the New York Health Department to tattletale on the stand that they were having shows there.
So, but that's what I'm saying. So there are look, I'll be the first to say, it's a hack take to go like, bullying's good. It's not always good. Like, just picking on random kids isn't good. Bullying is good in the context of, like, that scene in Full Metal Jacket when he had the jelly donut and then everybody got in trouble and they wailed on him with bars of soap. That's accepted bullying. It's like, you did something. You're fucking my shit up. Now I'm going to beat you up. But Seth Simons is the perfect example of, I'm being picked on, and it's like, then stop fucking with those kids. Stop fucking with them. They're going to keep beating you up. Oh, I hate this man.
Though I cannot definitively prove it, is a person at the heart of the New York City club comedy scene, and others participated in the Gamergate-style campaign that has been conducted against me.
Ugh, me. He's a white woman.
The online forum, just one node in a constellation of similar forums, subreddits, and Discord groups, is not some outlier in the industry. Before I take you down my particular rabbit hole, it's worth establishing the many ways in which the world of comedy and the racist right overlap reinforce each other.
He's insufferable.
The recent comedy boom in popularity understood as an era in which new forms of media like podcasts and streaming videos create massive new audience for comedy.
Two other things that you, by the way, failed at, Seth.
Which in turn created a massive new revenue stream for comedians. At the same time, the artificial intimacy of these platforms allowed fans to feel a level of connection with their favorite performers and with each other. This could verge on the cultish. This was not simply an era of glorious bounty in which little-known comedians would land massive Netflix paydays or leapfrog from UCB comedy to college humor to lucrative sitcom writing gigs. It was also the era of walled-off subcultures like ONAforums.net, which could transform into real, violent political factions, especially at a time when comedy was increasingly pitted against the forces of political correctness, the very forces that also fueled the grievances of Donald Trump supporters, and the chauvinist right, whose credo of owning the libs reads a lot like the traditional comedian's defense of right to insult and be offended.
I want to for those of you that don't really know much about Seth Simons, Seth Simons is known for being a guy that failed at comedy. That's what he did. He did comedy. He did that hipster Brooklyn coffee shop comedy. He was terrible at it. And he ended up somehow starting to become the comedy correspondent for the New York Times. And what he did was he set out after failing at comedy to get back at everybody that ever fucking told him he sucked at it. And now he's literally been out to destroy comedy. It's been this guy has some sort of weird vengeance, this bitter, like, he's angry at them, and he couldn't make it. He's even pointing out in this article, it gave way to all these walled-off communities, and you're angry that you couldn't build one. You're angry that you were neither interesting, charismatic, or funny enough to build a community around yourself. So now you just go around and snitch out everybody to the New York Times. He's the most miserable, spiteful, sad little man in all of fucking comedy, and fucking even at the New York Times, Seth Simons is the biggest loser there.
The mobs that descended on Washington, D.C. last month. By the way, this isn't the New York Times. He's in the New Republic.
Oh, he's in the New Republic. Well, he used to write stuff for the New York Times.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know this article.
Sorry.
The mobs that descended on Washington, D.C. last month have intellectual roots in many places going back to the bloody beginnings of this country. But they also have roots in specific areas of modern culture, including Facebook, BuzzFeed, and the increasingly online world of comedy. All the forces that incubate the rioters are still there, unchanged, chugging along as normal. The rot goes much deeper than you might expect.
Do you know why you're not funny, Seth? Because this is how your brain works. Your brain works in this ass nerd kind of way, where it's like you want to write about the painful birth of this nation while talking about a couple of New York clubs that sell overpriced, watered-down drinks while you watch Rich Voss go, come on, settle down, or whatever the fuck. Like, that's all it is. These sort of like Brooklyn hipster people are the ones that ruined comedy, because they're the ones that came out with the, why can't we speak truth to power and make comedy like a high art form? And it's like, it's not. It's literally guys showing up to a club, telling some fucking dick jokes, you buying drinks, and everybody goes home. When you overthink it, you suck at comedy. Seth Simons sucked at comedy. That makes me violently angry.
If the far right's origins in comedy are ill appreciated, they were never particularly secret. By his own account, Gavin McInnes created the Proud Boys on Compound Media, a subscriber-based digital network where he hosted a talk show from 2015 to 2017. Originally called the Anthony Cumia Network, Compound Media was created in 2014 by Cumia, the Anthony half of Opie and Anthony, after his firing from SiriusXM over a series of racist tweets. The Gavin McInnes Show, like many other programs on the self-styled Free Speech Network, was not shy about its politics. Over the show's 407 episodes, McInnes spoke glowingly of right-wing violence, proudly declared himself a racist, and regularly used the N-word, among other slurs. When a caller questioned his interracial marriage in 2016, McInnes responded that he had children with a woman of color because he's cleaning up the races. Look, whether you like McInnes or not, McInnes was clearly making up. He was clearly making a joke. Even reading it, I could tell that's a joke.
And I hate to admit it, but Gavin can be funny sometimes.
Gavin, of course,
he says
can be funny.
shit sometimes. And I'm like, God damn, that was good.
The pretense of irony hung over everything he said, but the pretense is all it ever was. Compound Media was where telling jokes gave way to saying what you meant jokingly. Remember now, comedy always used to be like you should be able to joke about anything. You should be fucking people like Bill Hicks, fucking the amount of comedians that fought for you to say whatever the fuck you wanted. And now these fucking nerds that have infected every other medium, everything, they've infected everything, are also trying to come into comedy and tell you, you're not allowed to joke about that, Sweaty. If your joke isn't about Orange Man bad, get off the stage. Fuck you. The reason that these walled-off communities were created it was a reaction to the shit you're doing.
It was to get away from you.
Yeah, it was a reaction to this. This is reactionary.
When these communities started, too, they weren't fucking with you. They weren't fucking with you, dude. They just, like you said, they were walled off. They just wanted to have that little area and go like, look, man, I'm never going to be on SNL. I'm never going to get a TV deal. You know, YouTube's never going to push us up in the algorithm. So let's cut a deal. Let's all just go over here. We'll leave you alone. You leave us alone. The problem is you just simply are incapable of leaving people alone. It's inherent in certain people who, you know, are in the media, journalists in general are just terrible. And again, Seth is a guy that you can tell from his old videos he really wanted to be a comedian, but he wasn't funny.
Hack the Movies says, who cares about Compound Media? It's all about Opie Radio.
True.
That's a good
How
point.
come Opie Radio's not getting any write-ups?
Because he can't do the sunsets anymore because of COVID. That'll do it every single time, man.
What, you don't want to watch 50 of the same videos of a middle-aged guy with the camera pointed at the Hudson River while he's going, dude, I don't even care anymore. I don't even care anymore. I'm so past it.
You don't want to do that anymore? I think that's great. When McInnes founded the Proud Boys in 2016, he used TGMS as a recruitment tool. This, in his monologue and call-in segments, he laid out the organization's principles and customs, chief among which was its ideology of Western chauvinism, a belief in the superiority of Western civilization and the white people supposedly responsible for it. White males are a big part of what make the West great, he told the caller without question.
They are.
But he's again, Gavin is correct.
You know what I love? One of my favorite copes that I always hear from, like, especially about black people, is they always go, black people built this nation. And you're like, do you honestly think they used slaves to build cathedrals and city halls and like these big plantation houses? Do you really think slaves were used to gather materials to pick cotton? It was like just a thing they did. They were used for farming. They were used for labor. But do you really think that, like, I love when they go, slaves built this country. No, let's be fair. A bunch of greaseball Italian stonemasons were brought over and paid next to nothing. The Chinese and the Italians built this country and the supervised them. That's, if we're being fair.
And the Dutch was their Uber.
That's really pretty much it.
Yeah.
They just kept bringing over ships of lumber.
Yeah. Despite his concerns that the openly element of the far right were bad for his brand, McGinnis didn't hesitate to associate with them. His guests were a who's who of contemporary far right: Milo, Richard Spencer, Unite the Right rally organizer Jason Kessler. Okay, we've interviewed him. Christopher Cantwell, Mike Cernovich, Faith Goldie, Bruce V, even former K leader David Duke, who makes the mayonnaise.
I'm sorry,
Dr. David Duke.
David Duke. Okay.
Put some respect on his name.
He didn't get some dodgy fucking doctorate in some made-up category for you to disrespect him like that.
In retrospect, the Gavin McGinnis Show's function was not just to introduce the comedy world to the world.
That's what it was.
What a leap. What a fucking leap. But to let one legitimize the other. At this time, McGinnis was wildly successful, his influence long outlasting, and his own tenure in the New York comedy scene. In 2017, Dave Smith, Dave Smith, used a
Dave Smith.
TG. Well, it's funny you say
White
that.
Neo skinhead Dave Smith.
Dave Smith used a TGMS guest hosting spot to interview Richard Spencer and Christopher Cantwell, giving both a friendly platform to lay out their vision for a white ethno-state. By then, he and the other two Legion of Skank members had left Compound Media for a network founded by Gomez, Gas Digital, where they
I'm going to win this bingo, watch.
Where they carried out the TGMS tradition: racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia, and flirtation with the far right. Today,
if he mentions The Stand, I get bingo. I'm waiting for. I got my little, the little boop things, the ink things. I'm sitting here with my cards all laid out, and I'm like, come on, give it to me. Give me The Stand.
Today's Legion of Skanks holds a considerable sway in comedy with a massive platform. He's jealous. It lent everyone who's anyone in the New York club scene, while remaining true to its far right roots. In 2019, it hosted Milo. After his fall from grace, in 2018, Gomez angrily chased a fan out of a recording when the man pointed out a Proud Boy in the audience. You were joking, this next sentence. Dave Smith, a sympathizer who believes run forces that are killing society, has become a powerful voice in the right flank of the Libertarian Party.
I've never, honestly, maybe I don't listen to enough Dave Smith, but I don't ever hear Dave Smith doing JQ stuff.
Yeah, neither do I. Maybe I'm wrong here.
Like, I don't think Dave Smith is the kind of guy to deny, like, certain industries, certain seem to favor them, but, like, I don't think Dave Smith would be out there going, you know what the problem is?
Yeah, I don't think he does that. He's used his own podcast on Gas Digital to pal around with white supremacists like Cantwell, Spencer, and Nick Fuentes. Now, pal around. So this is the new thing that's happening, right? Whenever you have somebody on, even if you completely disagree with them, and you have them on your show to have a discussion and be like, hey, man, why do you think the way you think? And you have a back and forth. Now you're palling around. Larry King has had Klan members, skinheads. Go down the fucking list of the fucking people that Larry King's had on his show. Was he palling around with them? You're allowed to interview whoever the fuck you want.
And by your own standards, then, why was Tim Heidecker palling around with Nick Fuentes? Why were Vic Berger and Tim Heidecker having a fucking laugh fest with their good friend Nick Fuentes? You see how stupid that sounds?
Yep.
So it's these guys are so selective in their outrage, and I'm trying to really think. I don't think there's anybody right now out there in this like sphere that I hate more than Seth Simons. He's the most despicable person anywhere in around New York comedy. He's the worst.
If I can use the government to do horrific things to the left, I will, because they've been doing horrific things to us for centuries. Cantwell told him after the Unite the Right rally in 2017. Smith agreed. It's almost like you're having a conversation with somebody and they punch you in the face. The only logical response is to get up and fight. Would extremism have found such a loving home in comedy without McGinnis? Maybe. Much of the blame also goes to the man who gave him a platform during the alt-right's formative years, Anthony Cumia, a racist Trump supporter who pled guilty to domestic abuse charges in 2016. Cumia certainly shares much of McGinnis's ideology. He spent 6 years with reactionaries like Ann Coulter, Alex Jones, we've had him on the show, Donald Trump Jr. on Compound Media's program, The Anthony Cumia Show with Dave Landau. The network as a whole straddles the same world as TGMS. On one side, it's a breeding ground for far-right ideology. On the other, regular old gig for pretty much every club comic in New York City. Yeah, if by a fucking right thing you mean people still doing Goodfellas impressions and stuff, then yeah, you're in the right place. In some cases, the line is completely blurred. Compound host Chrissy Marr has lately delved deep into the conspiracy theories, believing and spreading them, that is, and attending the protest at Capitol Hill on January 6th. Aaron Berg and Gino Bisconti host In Hot Water, a show whose recurring segments include Black Guy of the Day, ISIS, and Rip of the Day. These comics are all regulars at the New York City club. You got your thing? You got your thing for bingo?
Bingo! What did I tell you?
The Stand!
Ooh, that's a bingo.
Is that the way you say it? That's a bingo.
You just say bingo. Bingo! How fun!
Thank you. This guy is such a fucking one-note loser. It's the same fucking song. He's been playing the same tune for like 4 years now. This guy is such a fucking jealous loser.
Oh, can I point out that Dave Smith is Jewish?
Mm-hmm.
It's unlikely many bookers know they built their followings on a network that caters to far right, but some do. Okay, hey, fucker. Even if you get rid of all the far right people, they're still not going to book you, Seth. You get that, right? You're still not going to get the gig. You could try to get rid of everybody, but you're not funny enough to do it yourself. See, there's the difference.
They're still going to find somebody who will say the woke shit you say, but be funny. You're never going to be funny. That's the problem. Do you know why? Do you know why people like doing stuff on Gas Digital and like doing stuff with Louis J. Gomez and like doing stuff with these guys at the Stand? Because, at least from our experience, they treat people really nicely.
Yeah, they're very nice.
They're funny guys. They do funny shit. And, like, it's a good time. Like, you go and you do their show and you go, these guys are great. It's a blast. Like, everybody's being nice. They're inviting you places. I didn't get any vibe that anybody there was hosting any secret clan rallies. In fact, everybody I met at Gas Digital had the same mission, which was like, want to go get fucked up somewhere? Because there's this place we can go get fucked up, but there's also this place we can go get fucked up. And he'd be like, let's go get fucked up.
No, Jay Okerson invited me to a clan rally.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he wears the gloves to cover up swastikas he has on his hands.
He's got a bunch of fucking, he's got some words, let's just say.
Mm-hmm.
He's got words on his knuckles that he doesn't want Dave Smith to see.
Yeah. Specifically. I'm just putting it that way, okay? Let's just say he told me he wished he had 14 fingers.
And 88 toes.
All right, well, I'm sorry they have to go from adorable to this. But he's back, baby. He's back in the saddle again.
Do you know what, honestly, do you know who has it the best out of this whole universe?
Sherman?
Yeah. No, I'm serious.
I agree.
He doesn't have to put up with it anymore.
This is him on Facebook. Everything my phobic, but I have a rainbow flag on my front step of my house. So you getting beaten by a skinhead while I stand back and sat.
Very convoluted sentence.
And by about it is nothing horribly wrong. Brother-in-law does in this house. I keep. Wow, this is.
He's really bad.
I keep. On record, he is the most full of shit phony person who literally is just my sister's willing black slave in these fucked up matters.
Why do these people, right, always end up being more racist than the actual racists I know?
Of course.
You know, like the racists that I know that get, scrutinized by the media are just like, yeah, he's a black guy. I just want him to leave me alone. Just stay away from my daughter. Like, which is whatever. But it's the leftist guys that are always just like, what are you, a plantation slave, you fucking Uncle Tom? I'll whip you like a fucking slave, you N. And you're like, wait a minute. I thought you were weren't you the altruistic ones? I thought you were the good guys. It's just like, fucking plantation slave. And you're like, dude, I know guys in the that wouldn't say that.
He then says, "This is why I need a girlfriend to move in with me."
This
Again,
fantasy, the big buff girlfriend that's gonna.
because with a woman in my life, my parents have to keep anti-face maskers out of my house. Like 2 of the men on this recording are each time. They come over from so many other places.
This is the ramblings of a madman.
With a woman in my life, my mom will not be as tolerant about how often my phony transphobic black brother-in-law comes over, as she is pretty much a closet racist, just like he is transphobic. Remember, he was blaming Sherman this whole time. Sherman's gone now, so he has a new villain. He needs a new villain.
I want to just point out, because I know I pointed out last time that I love how in his triumphant fantasy of having a girlfriend come and live with him and stand up for him, it's still in his parents' house. Like, he's still going to come here and live with me here and sponge off my parents with me. None of his, like, his imagination is funny. Like, he doesn't imagine anything where he's, like, self-sufficient and self-reliant and living on his own and has a woman in his life. Like, it's when I get a girlfriend to come move in this hellhole with me, then I'll be set. And then it's like, he's already just assuming that he's allowed to move a girl in, right?
Of course.
Which is also obnoxious.
Well, there's an empty room.
But is that not another layer of his obnoxiousness where it's like, none of this has been discussed with anybody. It's just when I get a girlfriend and move her in here, and it's like, no, Earl. The goal should be when you move out and then you get a girlfriend and then you guys have a place. Then it's you guys. I would love to see him get a girlfriend, move out, and get his own place, just because the posts would then become, she's a but she beats me.
You're
She's
right.
a psychopath.
You're right.
You don't know what she's doing to me.
Some people are new and they don't know. If you're looking for the entire, because we can't explain it in one sitting. If you're looking for the entire Hypernova saga, it's on our clip channel, youtube.com/ROTC Media. There's a playlist of the Dayton Hypernova saga if you want to see it from the beginning.
It's a lot of lore to catch up on.
It's a whole bunch. Wizard got a good point. His girlfriend could live in the tinfoil room.
That's right. Can I keep you? I'm going to get a girlfriend that will stand up for me, and she can live in the attic surrounded by tinfoil like a pot plant.
So this is a long one and with a lot of grammatical errors. My parents actively ignored payments owed to me the entire month of January, and I didn't bother about it with their son's death. You mean your brother? I kept working for them every week anyway. Tonight I told my dad on camera in front of his religious good deeds friend, which he is a hypocrite about, and everywhere when his friends is not here. That he needs to pay me for last week's work and this week's work, and to not ignore payments anymore. I went easy on you last month because of things.
So wait a minute, but this
he went easy on him.
This post is all right. Like, we've read a lot of these Earl posts.
Mm-hmm.
He's not that coherent to begin with. He's obviously not that well spoken, but these are bad even for him, right?
Yeah.
He's like, I feel like he's probably drinking a lot or doing something, because they got these pretzels here that $2.50. What are you, crazy? Get out of here. When he writes Marge the love letter, it's that kind of rambling where you're like, you need to not be writing or in public right now or posting.
The only way my dad was not snarky at me in front of his good deeds Christian friends was by mentioning to him, I need the money I'm working for, especially if I work with the lady mentioned who is affiliated with Andy Warhol's people. He's working with someone who knows Andy Warhol's people.
He's such a bad stereotype, right?
Remember that time he was texting me for like 3 months thinking I was a Dr. Phil producer? Because that's a thing that actually happened.
And then he kept posting about how he's talking to Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. But it's just, he really is every, like, unlikable trope.
Well, yeah.
You know, that hates the Christianity. Everything's a fucking phobic thing. He's a substance abuser. It's just, everything is packed into this one guy.
He stops being an asshole to me when I mention that. I might eventually have to mention her first name, but avoid mentioning her husband at all, or the last name. This is literally how I talk my god-awful, hypocritical, wealthy parents into paying me what they owe me when they afford vacations multiple times a year.
Yes, but you know what, dude? They afford vacations with their money, Earl. With their money. You live in their house for free. You have absolutely no legal stake in living there. Like, they could kick you out at any time if they wanted to. They pay you to do nothing and live in their house. They've put up with... These people have put up with a lot. They're fucking saints at this point. Let them... They're allowed to go on vacation. It's their money. You're living in their house. I don't... Could you, like... I can't grasp, like, you're living in somebody's house and then they go, all right, I'm going on vacation. I'm taking a week off. Do me a favor. Just make sure the pets are taken care of. Try not to trash the place. And we'll be back in 2 weeks and go, yeah, must be nice. Must be nice to be rich and go on vacations. And it's like, you're living here for free. What are you talking about? This is a vacation, Earl. Your life has been a vacation.
So this is the video that he posted in relation to those posts. Carrying laundry upstairs and telling my dad. Well, I need you to look at this. Look, it's one long word.
Yeah.
Carrying laundry upstairs and telling my dad they have to pay me each week. Went easy on them last month.
All of Earl's, all of Dayton Hypernova's video titles read like the titles of Fall Out Boy songs. You know,
cute without the E.
No, that's Taking Back Sunday. Like Fall Out Boy was always like, tell that Mick he just made my list of things to do today. It was always entire sentences. It was like, what was the other band that ripped off Fall Out Boy? Panic at the Disco. It's the same thing. They had entire sentences as song titles, and you're like, this is annoying.
It's like the title of a Frasier episode, the one where Frasier goes on vacation. Yes. All right, let's check this one out. I fast-forwarded after the pretzel bag thing, or Sun Chips bag.
Can we stop saying that? Because it's actually making me hate Sun Chips. I
love Sun Chips.
I was going to get Sun Chips the other day, and then I thought of that, and I was like, I don't want them anymore. Crunch. This is just a Sun Chips Super Bowl ad.
It's terrible.
Crunchy, crunch, crunch.
I promise you there's talking in here somewhere. Here we go.
What's that? What do you mean by I just haven't. I think you guys haven't paid me in a month.
I think you haven't paid me in a month.
What about December and January on the credit card? Yeah, that was the last 2 weeks of December.
So his dad is correctly pointing out that I might not have paid you this month, but you used my credit card. Remember, he was using his credit card to buy $700 worth of tinfoil?
And he thinks that's just the separate magic money.
Yes,
that doesn't need to be paid back or anything. It's
doesn't
like,
count.
no. That was, I just used your credit card to order pizza. That has nothing to do with what I'm entitled to. You're like, what? I'd have fucking killed this guy by now.
325. I guess technically it was $25 in the first week of January. That's all right. I can look at it. I already know it.
Also, you know what it is? Like, to know he's full of shit. You know he's full of shit, and you know deep down he kind of knows he's full of shit because the way he's handling this with like
well, you know, it's like I was hoping that I could get a couple, you know, because you're supposed to pay me or whatever.
Like that sheepishness, that doesn't come out when you're really owed money by somebody you've worked hard for. If you worked your ass off for somebody and they didn't pay you, you'd go, hey, cocksucker, I want my fucking money. I'm not fucking playing around anymore. I did all my fucking work. We made a deal. That's how you say it when you're somebody who hasn't been stealing their credit cards and using them and shit. You know what I mean? Like, you go, hey, I want my goddamn money.
this past week and this week, after I get back to regular here, I really want to earn my money, especially if this lady involved in stuff.
The only way I can bring it up is by talking about this lady that I met visiting in Los Angeles. Who worked with Andy Warhol before he passed away in the 80s.
Years.
That's the only way to have a straight conversation. And they're so narcissistic that that's the only conversation. This lady who I actually got in contact with has been talking to me about my 3D film projects, my 3D camera, and stuff that I'm trying to work on.
The lady is either non-existent,
or humoring
pranking you, or lying to you, because we've seen your 3D camera project. It's aluminum foil, Earl.
To be fair, I mean, Andy Warhol painted a bunch of fucking soup cans and sucked a bunch of cocks.
Yeah.
So it's not like he was, like, you want to talk about overrated to begin with. Fucking Andy Warhol, Jesus.
Fucking hack.
On their relationship between as employer-employee situation. They do my own tax. They do my tax every month record of my income, which is below minimum wage.
Oh my God, the babbling.
$200 a year, which is ridiculous to make that low of wage. This is 2021. I've been making that low of wage since 2009.
This is one of the.
You don't work. You do laundry once a week.
This is one of the classic Hypernova moves, by the way, is just complete filibustering, which probably has worked for him in the past. Like, I can imagine many situations where he just did this and babbled until somebody's like, all right, here.
Here, shut
Just
up.
go away. Just leave me alone.
In fact, I think it was even lower at first. I had to argue with them to make it that high. Of a thing, 5,200 a year. Like, that's ridiculous. So anyway, I've lived on a meal a day for several years now, for most months of the past several years.
You live on a meal a day because you choose to. I've heard your parents offer you a bunch of food and you're like, I don't like those kind of wings.
Yeah.
I don't like that's not the pizza from the pizza place I like.
Yeah, you're a fucking stubborn, selfish little, which is why you don't eat. Every time you've shown a video of you and your families there, they're all eating. Have you ever seen a video when he's taping his family and they're not eating? They're always over and having,
Of course.
It's usually when they're all there, they're having a meal. Or remember they're outside barbecuing the one time and the black brother-in-law was like, hey, what up, man? You want a hot dog? And he was like,
no.
Like, and it's like, yeah, they're all eating. Like, you're the prima donna. You're the one, like Roy said, I don't like that kind of pizza. Whereas, like, even if it's shitty pizza, if I walk in any room and, like, Royce is like, you want some pizza? I'm like, fuck
Yeah, I'll get pizza.
Even when it's shitty pizza, you're like, I'll grab a slice. Pizza's pizza. His stupid health burritos, all this other shit. It's like, oh, I hate him. I hate him. I hate him. I hate him.
Just to save all my money, or as much as I can. That's so crazy.
I think that's the end of this particular video.
You know, even if these boomers fucked up with him, which clearly they did because they got two sons that are, that weren't exactly home runs. But even if you place some of the blame on this on the parents, which you should, it's a mixed bag. Do you not still feel kind of bad for them?
I still feel bad for them.
Just having to live in this prison.
Well, there's a reason I feel bad for them.
Because they got a decent house. They got you know what I mean? Outside of him, they got the brother-in-law with the kids, and they come over, and it's like, I'm sure like any other family, I'm sure none of them are perfect.
No, of course.
But, they interact, and they get the dinners, and they're trying to be, they're all just trying to live their lives. And this black fucking hole is always around. It's...
This is him explaining on camera my transphobic sister and brother-in-law exploiting a violent skinhead passing away.
Of course, yes. Of course they are.
I mean, granted, it is the middle of winter right now, so I'm just bundled up in sweaters and, staying warm. But I can't really wear dresses in this house without crazy harassments. Especially from my mom, who's a total bigot.
Wait, she's bigoted against sweater wearers?
No, he can't wear dresses in the house.
Dresses.
Yeah.
Extreme right-wing values from Kentucky. Awful bigots.
But then leave.
Once this Andy Warhol deal comes through for his baked potato room, he will leave, Mike. Fucking focus.
See, it's like imagine it's like you're the baked potato, and that's why you're looking out at the foil.
Oh, I see.
And then here's my steering wheel from a boat with a swirl thing on it.
It's so bad. Everything is so bad.
I stuck a swirl thing on it in the same pattern as the old cookies that used to come with Dunkaroos.
Oh yeah, remember those? Yeah.
I call this one Le Dunkaroo.
It's money. Awful. Absolutely awful. All of these people purely exploit a situation for themselves.
Is he saying other people are exploiting a
Yes.
situation?
Yeah, they're all the ones doing the things he's actually doing. But I've never felt even growing up in a admittedly in retrospect probably abusive household. I never felt this terrified and trapped where I had to hide in rooms and mumble to myself but if I felt that way anywhere, I would leave, right? Like, of course, you would just go, "Yeah, I'm out of here." Even if you didn't have the money or whatever, you know what? I'll figure it out. Right. I gotta go. I can't be here anymore. You people are literally beating me every day. Like, you just have to go. He's bitching and bitching and bitching, and it's like, you're an adult man. Just leave. This isn't a video of a 6-year-old going, "I'm scared and my mommy and daddy beat me and I don't know where to go." That would be heart-wrenching. You'd go like, "Poor fucking kid." Mm-hmm. You're an adult man. Just leave.
7.5 years of beatings. Violent beatings and harassments. And I've suffered from erythrodermic psoriasis. It's a genetic condition on I'll just show my hands, I guess. It's hard to hold a camera.
Ah!
Ugh.
Oh my God!
He's got hands like I would imagine Ian McKellen's hands look like.
Yeah, what the fuck?
But, I mean, don't mind the awful...
You know what I just realized, too? Do you know how you could break... you could break Dayton Hypernova?
Mm.
Just ask him the one thing nobody ever asks him. I guarantee you could make this guy almost have a stroke if you just sat down and went, "All right, you know what? Fine. Let's agree on everything. Everything you're saying is true. What do you want? What do you want?
Attention."
But he'll never say that.
Of course, he'll never admit it.
So you go,
Yeah.
What is it? What, like, right now, a path to being whole. What is it? What is it? What do you want them to do? What is it you want? Because you just bitch. What is the one thing you want? And I guarantee if he sat there and thought about it long enough, he might actually just kill himself.
Remember when his dad...
Because he doesn't know what he wants. He just wants to complain.
His dad... Remember, going on what you're saying, remember that time his dad offered him $3,000 if he would leave? He said, "I'll give you $3,000 cash."
And
all
then
you
he
have to,
and he comes like, no.
So anyway, I mean, this is all psoriasis all over my legs. This bleeds all over my body. That bleeds all over my body because it's erythrodermic psoriasis. It's extreme.
I know, and let me guess, your aunt had it?
It basically, it bleeds from stress, from any stress factors. I mean, I'm scratching right there just because I'm slightly nervous, just because they're all known to bully me. They're all much larger.
Known by whom?
I'm very skinny. I live on one meal a day in this house.
All things you have control
sometimes
over.
Half a meal a day. And I can't wear dresses in the house without crazy things happening to me from the family. And my...
Imagine that's your biggest complaint.
You can't wear dresses.
You're choosing not to eat enough, and you're not allowed to wear your dresses. Were you even, like, you probably were vetoed more often than not as a kid when you wanted to express yourself, right?
Of course.
That's what normal families do.
You're supposed to, yeah.
No, you're not wearing that. No, you're not getting your eyebrow pierced at 12. Get out of here. You know what I mean?
Everybody would look like
that.
the kid from fucking Big Daddy when Adam Sandler let him dress himself.
Yes. And it's like, that's a good, like, you know, I wouldn't have been able to wear dresses in the house either because it's not your house. Like, the whole point is, like, give it up. You know, give some credit to some of these. At least they went, okay, you know what? I'm leaving this bigoted household, and I'm never coming back. And they went off and, you know, fixed up a house in some black neighborhood and pushed all the black people out, and they made their own way in the world.
Enablers of the violence. They completely exploit any of the situation in their favor. That's why I keep it all on record. This is crazy. I mean, where do you go when you have a rhythm psoriasis all over your body? It's affected by the cold climate outside.
Move somewhere
Bleeds
warm.
From that as well as the stress factors. And these people.
Move to a nice, warm, dry climate in the desert.
Yeah, do you like the movie Tombstone?
Yeah, get shot through your fucking liver while you're playing pool.
I mean, that's not the thing I meant, but okay.
Yeah, I want you to end up like Tombstone too, like Morgan Earp in Tombstone.
Face masks. So I stay in my room.
Morgan Earp.
Morgan Earp, yes.
Morgan Earp.
Yes, can somebody make that for us, please? Morgan Earp. I love it.
God awful. Pigs. Pigs, assholes, everyone in the family is a jerk.
Then leave!
But, like, maybe you're the jerk, right? Because it's like, I think it's almost universally accepted at this point, Earl, that you're the jerk, that the jerk store called, and they're all out of you, sir. It's not the other people.
Happy-go-lucky about it, too. Ugh. I mean, that's awful. They probably, bring 3 small kids around. Yeah, that's awful.
But what does he want? You know what I mean? And I know it's like a rhetorical thing. I know there's no legitimate answer to that. But what do you want?
Well, Mike, I'll tell you what I want.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
My name is Earl, and I am became a girl just to get more fans. It was cool for a week or two. That's when things came unglued. My brother Sherman is moving back in. I never thought that I would see him again.
F's in the chat for Sherman.
He thinks I'm crazy.
R.I.P.
That's no surprise. He still just treats me like one of the guys. He fucking beats me. Trust
This is great.
La 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 la. I try real hard to get the video proof, but I have none. It's every day. He was clean for about an hour. After that, he drank some whiskey sour. He swung at me with all that he had. No help from mom and no help from dad. My brother Sherman is moving back in. A failed boxer with a quadruple chin. This is the day that he realized I'm just a free out, dysmorphic guy. He fucking beats me. Trust he fucking beats me.
This best band ever, by the way. The fact that you did a Puddle of Mud cover just makes you the man. The footage is great, too.
Videos are for me to vent to myself because there are no people who reach out to me during the beatings that they all know about on social media. Everyone knows about the beatings.
That
That's
was
amazing.
Local
Very good
Enterprise
job.
Broadcasting.
Very good job. Very funny.
I'm going to post the link. Local Enterprise Broadcasting. It's just so good. It's so very good.
God,
There you go.
I hate him so much. I hate him so much.
Well, I do have something for you guys that I think you're gonna. This is for the ladies because we do a lot of stuff for guys here, and it's. I would say majority of our fan base is men. We know we have women, but
guys, we like to have a lot of fun about here. But I'd like to talk about something serious.
Mm-hmm.
Black people. They're no laughing matter.
The FBI says.
The FBI says 37 calls about a kid in Florida who wants to his school. Why waste the gas?
No. Now, Ricky Vaughn.
Ricky
let's
Vaughn.
take that
guy
fucker
needs to be
down.
Put in a prison under the jail.
Let's take him down. All right.
Oh, God. You should, dude.
Yeah.
Royce showed me this week, and I was howling laughing. I was... I couldn't.
So, Cade, Mr. our favorite person in the world, Mr. Dayton Hypernova, starting a Tinder account finally on a level of effort anyway. So this is him starting his Tinder account. Pretty nice, right?
Why would he post? Like, I love that he just posts his number, he posts his info. Like, he literally puts a screenshot of his phone number, which, by the way, you don't even need that to post the status and go like, well, I'm on Tinder, and he posts the fucking thing.
Oh, no, I didn't catch that, Mike. Holy shit.
He just posts his phone number. Like, here's a screenshot of my phone number. Yeah, like, why would you do that?
Oh, no. No. Look, this isn't me doxing anybody. This is public. He put this out. I want to point that out.
And I have two phones. Like, I have two phones. I have two phone numbers, right? And I have my phone that, like, Royce has and my family has.
Yeah.
And, like, people that need to get in touch with me. And then I have a bullshit phone that has, like, I pay for very little service on. But it's, like, it's my phone that I can afford to have doxed and stuff. But even when I screenshot something and it has my bullshit phone number on it, I still blur out, like, the last 4 numbers just in case. You know what I mean?
What an idiot! What a fucking idiot he is! What an idiot!
I'm sorry, the person you were...
Oh, well. Should we have left? Should we leave?
We should have left a message.
Okay, you know what? Let's try this again. Oh, and it is his correct phone number. I can tell you that from first.
I'm sorry, the person you were trying to
There
reach
you go.
has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet. Please try your call again later.
No,
Goodbye.
can't. Didn't set up his voicemail.
Damn it.
He never set up his voicemail.
I wanted to do the phrase that pays.
Damn it. Hey, look, we tried. So don't say we didn't try. He then posted this.
Uh-oh.
He wrote, oh my God, I've been on Tinder less than an hour and I immediately found this girl and we matched. This seems rare to me. I don't have luck on these sites, but her blue outfit, OMG, is literally almost the same as the one I saw Christina Ricci wear recently. It's similar to some of the ruffle fringe ones I have as well. Same age as me and looks incredible. Now let's see what he wrote for her. This is not
By
a
the
real
way,
person.
as soon as you sent me that and I looked at that picture, I was like, oh no. It's like when you're on any of these sites, there's ones that, like, if you have a sharp eye, you can spot them right away. There's certain ones where you go, that one's fake, and this one's clearly fake.
So this one, he wrote this. I really love your fashion sense. I immediately was in awe of your blue outfit. I have some with similar ruffles. I can't keep reading this, Mike. I can't do it.
Do you want me to?
Yes, please. I can't.
Can I do it? I'm going to read it as Dayton, though.
Okay.
I really love your fashion sense. I immediately was in awe of your blue outfit. I have some similar ruffle style. Anyway, I know Tinder isn't a fashion networking site, but I'm on here to date or meet like-minded cisgender women who like self-identifying trans lesbians. By the way, before I finish reading this, if you're a trans lesbian, right, and you're not willing to date other trans lesbians, aren't you transphobic? Like, isn't that...
I'm doing the math in my head.
You're insisting that you're a woman and that I have to identify you and address you as a woman, or I'm transphobic. You're a woman, right? But you're clearly also saying I only like women, cisgender, naturally born women. So I'm not attracted to other trans lesbians.
Right, you're right.
Only real women. But then aren't you being trans? Like, if you notice, a lot of these trans people don't want to date other trans people. They want a real chick. Like, doesn't that tell you that maybe your trans nonsense, this gobbledygook that you believe in might just be fake? Oh, and then goes on. I'm going into film. Oh, he's going into filmmaking now. I'm going into filmmaking this year after investing the past few. Investing?
Yeah, he invested.
I hate him so much. Investing the past few years in quirky, unique, and flamboyant fashion. Let's talk. It's a hell of a pitch.
Well, Miami Milf says, yes, the ladies love when they can share outfits with their boyfriends. Is that true? Do women like that? Then one more thing here, which is my favorite prick I uploaded to Tinder thus far.
This is the one?
This is the one.
This I want to know the ones that didn't make the cut. I need to see the other ones. Looking good.
I totally do have David Bowie's irises in my eyes. Very different size iris and people in each one.
By the way, you know it's good. You know things are going well when you're fucking one of your defining beautiful features is your irises.
Yep.
This is Iris calling.
His eye condition was permanent from injury when someone was beating him during his pre-adolescence. Mine seems to happen on days I don't get nearly enough sleep, living where I'm stressed often. So he thinks he's the same person. Yes.
No, I'm curious. Are you sure that's when it happened, and not when he was teenagers? Because I was just curious.
Ooh, I don't know. That's a really good point. It could
David
be.
Bowie did, in fact, teenagers. Maybe that's when his eyes got fucked up.
Are you sure?
I just want to know, was it an accident, or was it when he was teenagers?
I think it happened when he was dancing in the street.
With Mick Jagger.
Yeah, Mick Jagger accidentally did like this.
Yeah.
And he poked him right in the eye, yeah.
And then he went on a teenager.
Okay, that's also true, yes. Can't argue that. Cannot argue that.
Just doing the Norm Macdonald thing now, where there's no punchline. No, teenagers.
A lot of people, it's weird to think that this is technically a children's show.
It is.
If you consider people both mentally children.
Yeah. Well, mentally, if we're talking mentally and emotionally, it's a purely children's show.
Yeah. This is Barney.
yeah.
Sesame Street.
Yeah.
I guess that's true. When you're 13, you want to listen to shows where everything is gay.
This is Barney for people with problems.
What kind of problems?
Twisted
mental problems.
Mm-hmm. I think it'd be cool if we should start a rap rock group now.
Why not?
Yeah.
The Insane Psychos.
The Insane Psycho fucking gang.
I can't wait to get pussy, but I know I never will.
I want colored contacts.
Everyone in school respects me because I know I might kill myself. Because they think I might just kill myself.
Kill myself if I don't get pussy.
If I don't get pussy, I might just kill myself. I might just kill. Every day, waking up, thinking about getting pussy, but I can't because I'm fucking gay. And everyone in school.
Getting pussy.
And when
I'm going to kill myself.
Walk to class, everyone looks at me, and I know they're thinking, faggot. They're thinking, faggot. Look at that faggot. That's me. I'm a psycho faggot. I'm a psycho fucking I'm a psycho
homo.
faggot.
We should be the psycho homos.
The psycho faggot.
When I'm 13 and I'm already diagnosed with borderline personality disorder.
That would be awesome, dude.
Cutting myself and burning myself with lighters. I might just burn myself with a fucking lighter. smoking crack while watching Rick and Morty. And the pain continues. The pain, everything is pain. Why are
pain of being gay.
Why am I in so much pain? Is this music for 13-year-olds or people with fibromyalgia?
That's awesome, man. The insane homos or the insane... What is it? Insane psychos? Yeah, that's good.
The insane ass clown posse.
Homo psycho.
Psycho.
The
yeah.
homo psychos.
Homo psychos. There's a lot of avenues to travel down.
Mm-hmm. And I might just kill myself if
And
I
I
don't
might
get
just kill myself.
pussy. I need pussy or I'll kill myself.
And afraid of me in school, 'cause my dad might have a gun. And you never know if I'm just gonna find it. And maybe I'll kill myself. Or maybe I'll bring it to school.
Yeah, it's nice to know those guys are still around.
Yeah.
I thought the school shooter trope would be gone by now. But
Are they still doing that?
I was so funny. It was like, because during all that Epstein shit, the guy from Lincoln Park killed himself, and people were like,
Chester. Yeah.
Why did he do it? Did he have stuff on Epstein? It's like, no, he did it because he's the guy from Lincoln Park.
Oh, I didn't realize that it was during Epstein.
Yeah, dude. He was on the
guy
island.
from Lincoln Park killing yourself, and you're being shocked by that. You're like, what? With the mascot from Chuck E. Cheese,
Paula Dean had
ate
a heart
piece
attack?
of Swiss. When they found out that Mickey Mouse was eating cheese.
Because I might just kill myself.
I might just kill myself.
It would be awesome if they were fucking blaring Lincoln Park on Little St. James.
Yeah,
that's
Epstein was actually a huge fan. Well, somebody found his Spotify playlist, and it was like the fucking like.
What did he like?
Starbucks CD like types of playlist bullshit. Because I mean, it's
Epstein's just listening to Colby Calais, just fucking jamming out, dude.
Yeah.
Harry Connick Jr. Christmas album.
He's not that cool, man.
We talk a lot about these pickup artists, obviously. I know that's something that we've been going down the rabbit hole lately. I found one that's a little different than the other ones. I found a black pickup artist. Okay? I want to introduce you.
I mean, that's just a regular black guy, right?
Yes, I want to introduce you to Anthony. This is his real last name. I want to introduce you to Anthony Spade. Let's give it a second. Just give it a second. So it feels good.
It feels like what I could only describe as like agita. Like when you get like
Feels good.
feels like when when you get like the bubbles in your chest when you go on like. That's what it feels like bad gas whenever you do something like this. Okay, it's passed. Ooh.
We good?
Yeah.
I feel good. You feel good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Knock it off, Spade.
He's a pickup artist. So this title of this video is Why Sigma Males Are More Attractive Than Alpha Males. Now, you're looking at this guy, so before we even hit play, because you're pretty good at this stuff, what do you think his voice sounds like? I've heard it, so I can't tell you because it'd be cheating.
It's probably going to be a little bit higher pitched, not like falsetto, but he's going to be a little almost like a Drake.
Okay, ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Why Sigma males are more attractive than Alpha males. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Anthony Spade channel.
All right, but why does Anthony Spade's channel look like the NFL whenever they're switching over to? Does it not? There's too many moving parts. There's too many. This is literally, all right, let's go to tail of the tape, all right? He's completed four touchdowns today. His QB passer rating is 12.
Well, you're right. I agree with you, but I wouldn't say NFL. It looks like something the XFL would do. Or BattleBots.
Yes. It's not that high grade.
No.
You're right, yeah.
Get ready for your daily red pill. You ready?
I hate this stinger. This makes me angry because it's very sports driven and you're not doing sports.
You know what this needs? A tiger.
And a wolf.
You're right. Well, there's your tiger right there.
Welcome back to the Anthony
Can we get the tiger off the fucking screen, please? Thank you.
Hey, dude, you can't. Oh, tiger.
I want my whole video to look like a fucking Puerto Rican seat cover that you buy at a car wash.
First off, I think you could say Tyga.
Tyga.
You can't use with a hard R.
before we get started, I want you to watch the entire video. If you like the video, press the like button at the end, press the subscribe button at the end, and press the notifications button at the end. Okay. Today we're going to be talking about
How come you
why
only have a
Sigma
grill on the back of your
are
front
more
teeth?
attractive
I was
than
thinking
alpha
the same thing. What
Now,
is
lot
this
of
a new
people
look
didn't
that I don't
even
know about?
He has a grill in the absolute last place you'd want to have a grill.
Yeah.
Like front, top, and then if you can afford it, front, bottom. But he's just doing back, bottom. Maybe it's just bridge work.
Maybe.
until last week. A lot of guys didn't.
You know what it looks like? You know, like when you're fucking around as a kid and you use like a gum wrapper to make a grill?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But a lot of guys did know. So we're having this debate in the manosphere.
It's
Mike, what part of the manosphere are you in?
People really need this. People waste so much energy on so much lore